Yo, 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 YouTube, what's up? It's Wednesday night, and we're on here a little late tonight. I think it's Charlie's fault. Is it your fault, Charlie?
I think it's Stuart's fault. Stuart's
I don't know.
fault.
I have a short memory. I can't remember who was holding up the show there. Oh, that's right. It was me. That's right. It was me. Yeah, so sorry about that. We're not quite on our target here. Today, things have been a little bit different at my house last few days. I was out of town all weekend, so went to the Pink show on Monday night.
I heard that. Good show.
Yeah, so something a little different from my norm for what I would do for concerts and things of that nature, but uh awesome time. We rented a an Airbnb, first time I've ever done that.
Okay.
Um and that was a pretty darn good experience. Um I'm actually going to pull this off here for a second. I'm going to turn it this way.
Oh my gosh, what's going
There we
on?
go. I don't like it when it faces the other direction. It throws me off because I don't know where the camera is, and I don't know. Anyway,
Your
sorry about that.
creature
So I had to,
habit.
yeah, my I when I put my phone in the thing, I had it flipped the other way for some reason, and so anyway, um, yeah, I had to kind of relocate my camera setup for tonight because my phone battery is about to die, so need to be able to plug in. So yeah, all kinds of things going on. But yeah, so we went to a show down in Milwaukee. So some with another couple. So it was Bree and myself and a couple friends of ours, and rented an Airbnb in a little town called Glendale. Do you know where
Yeah.
Glendale is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
fun little town. It's kind of Sturgeon Bayish, all these little
Yeah.
old houses and little downtown shop things, and um, it rained like all day Monday, so we didn't really get to do any of that and went to some eating places. But Tuesday morning, we went to their little downtown area there, and there was a candy shop, a awesome little breakfast place, and I had a breakfast uh, item called the Mad Chicken, or the Angry
Okay.
Chicken. I think it was the Angry Chicken, which was really interesting. But then next door to that was a sports card store.
No way.
Yes
And
way.
and you
Yes
didn't
way.
just happen to book a B&B in a neighborhood
I
that had a
I mean it
sports card shop. Sports
honestly,
card
honestly, no, it just totally fell in our laps. Now, did I get to go to the sports card store? No, and I'll tell you why.
shop.
It was closed.
Oh, okay.
It was closed until Thursday for I don't know what reason, but um yeah. So unfortunately, I did not get to hit a sports card store, but it was more of a little mini vacation for Bree and myself to just go and we did some thrift store shopping and just kind
Sure.
of stuff like that.
Okay,
Um,
Macklemore.
yeah, right, exactly. Uh, and go to the show and stuff like that. But the show was amazing. It's crazy to think that an artist can sell out Miller Park. You
Yeah.
know, so not even just the seats, like the all the grass area, the whole thing
The
was,
infield, yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, I was blown away. She did a great show. It's got a pretty big enough catalog. I knew a bunch of the songs. I don't listen to her like on my own time or anything, but um, you know, you, artist that's been around long enough, you know it. And then Pat Benatar was the opening act.
I heard she was awesome too.
Yeah, she was pretty good too. A heck of a voice for especially for her age and stuff. She can really sing it out.
Did she hit you with her best shot?
She did. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. That was fun. So what'd you do this weekend?
What
Anything
did I
exciting?
do this weekend? Holy cow, I didn't even stop to think about that. Um, let's see, let's see. There was something we did, and I'm struggling to remember it. Sunday was a day of rest. We kind of lounged around the house quite a bit. But what did we do on Saturday? My wife would probably kill me if she listens to this later. She's like, "How do you not remember what we did on Saturday?"
That's okay.
Um,
I get that all the time.
well, I know what we did not do. We did not do football practice. We took the weekend off of football practice. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you had a relaxing weekend, nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah, it's gonna
So.
drive me nuts now because we did have something we had to do on Saturday, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was.
Must not have been that much fun then.
No, I think that's just how tired I was.
That would do it too. That would do it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So we do this segue into the upcoming weekend. We do have a show we're going to on Sunday.
Yeah.
We're going to be at the Janesville show. So those of you who are any kind of local here, if you go to the Janesville show, we will be there as well. Careful. My little one just brought me some water. So
Oh,
thanks,
okay.
baby girl. Love you. She wants to make sure I stay hydrated during my show.
That's right.
I had this was my pre-show one, and I slammed that one already. So I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm excited for the Janesville show. I think that'll be fun. There's 4 of us going. Right now, I know. I just talked to Brian today, and he was getting back from Vegas, so he's like, I might have to be kind of a maybe depending on the schedule from there. But
Yeah.
for sure, you and Ethan and myself are going.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then Saturday night, the family and I have tickets to the Packers Patriots preseason game, and it'll be my
Nice.
boy's first Packer game at the stadium. So
Nice.
That'll be a nice experience for him.
Yeah, we went to family night a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't been there in a while either, and it's fun. I think you just need, if you live here, you need the flavor of it once in a while, right?
Right.
You know, you pay the taxes and you do all the stuff. You know, you got to try to get to a game once in a while, and especially with kids, you know, it's a pretty big experience for them. So
yeah.
So well, that's awesome. I hope you guys have a good time with that. That's
I'm
on
sure it will be.
Saturday
Night. Yep.
Oh,
should be a warm night.
So you're gonna do that Saturday night and then get up in the morning and head out to Janesville, huh?
Apparently so.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to firm our plans a little bit on that one yet. You know, if we're all meeting somewhere or how we're doing that. It's far enough away where I don't think we want to take a bunch of cars or anything.
No, probably not.
So maybe I'll have you come by me, and then I'll go down. We'll go down. Ethan's in like Manitowoc area.
Oh, okay. So that's a little out of the way.
It's a little out of the way, but I can have him meet us at like the park and ride out right off of 43.
You should have him meet us in like Appleton and take 10 across. This is thrilling conversation for the viewers.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I guess we'll talk about that later. But yeah, we will all be attending the Janesville show. I think that should be a good one. Like I said, I talked to Bo too. He'll be set up there for our 1 million Cubs cards. So I haven't seen him in a little while. So that'll be fun. We'll stop by his booth too and see what he's got. Hopefully he's got some soccer for me. But we'll see. Ooh, we've got our first chat. Let's just jump into some of that right away. Try to keep the chat active here. Card Honesty Collectibles. Oh, I like that. Nice name.
Yeah, it's a new name. I don't think we've seen them before.
No, he even says, or she, I guess I don't know. Good evening, gentlemen. First time catching you live. Quick question. How much of your inventory is from bargain boxes versus new ripped product? I feel like you have to have a balance. Yeah, that's a good question. Generally, I mean, I do this for profit. So generally ripping and selling is not that profitable. We spoke right at the very beginning of this show how we had both bought some Metal Universe recently. And so there's certain products I really like, and I'll buy a couple blaster boxes here and there, but I don't buy a bunch of hobby or cases of anything or stuff like that. At the National where you buy boxes and you get special packs, and you know, then I'll buy some more of that stuff. But yeah, generally just looking to get the value boxes and buy lots on eBay is generally where I get 99% of my inventory. So I think it's about the same for you, hey Charlie?
Yeah. And by the way, I don't think you have their question up on the screen. So if there's a problem with that, I just wanted to call that up for you. There you go.
Good call. Charlie, this show would be sunk without you this evening. That's for sure.
Producing and guest hosting.
Yeah, yeah. I'll put producer credits for you
Yeah.
after we're done.
So my inventory, I'm a little bit different just because I'm a newer seller. And we've talked about what prompted me to sell was that I had 11 seasons of baseball cards from buying blasters mostly, sitting in the attic, stored away properly. And I thought it was about time I did something with those, because I realized I was not going to be as much of a collector as I thought I was going to be, and
Yeah.
that I wanted to move into retail essentially and start to move some of that. So currently, I would say the largest chunk of my inventory is purchases off the retail racks in the stores. But since I started doing this, this has started to shift. And I would say I buy retail products more for fun, for the fun of a rip,
Correct. Yeah,
every
same.
once in a while. But when I'm buying to turn a profit, it's card shows 90% of the time.
Hmm.
I will buy a little bit off of eBay, but I've slowed down with that too. Like,
I did
um,
too.
you are much more successful in buying lots than I have been. And I feel like I've been much more successful at card shows. So I'm focusing on that more now moving forward. So my inventory is slowly creeping up that percentage of card show buys where I buy in
I
bulk.
I used to have a lot more time. Like I didn't get as many sales, so I would just, for a couple hours each night, I'd float around on eBay and I'd find good deals on lots and
Right.
I'd pick those up and add that inventory to the store and kind of just kept doing that to that
Yeah.
basically fed my growth.
Hmm.
But now so busy with orders and just maintaining even where I'm at, let alone, trying to get the growth that I'm not buying as many lots. I'd rather go to a bunch of shows. Because if I go to a show, then I'm definitely going to be buying,
Right.
versus eBay is kind of a crapshoot. It's timing and depends on what you're looking for, things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. Like, I get frustrated if I spend a good chunk of time on eBay looking to buy and
Hmm.
then I leave empty-handed. That never happens to me at a card show.
I tend to now I tend to be more focused when I shop on eBay now than I was before. I would type in like football cards and then literally just flip through like pages of
Yeah.
or card lots or something like that. Now I tend to be a little more focused. If I go in my Derek Jeter section and I see there's a lot of space in there, I'll go, well, I'll go look for some Jeter lots. And those players are sold enough that you can generally, find something. Right now, I'm
Yeah.
really low on Jordan stuff. I've sold a ton of Jordan recently. Um, so I'm probably going to be doing that very shortly, just kind of because I don't find a lot of Jordan at show boxes. Um, so I'm not too confident that I'll be able to pick up a ton of Jordan this weekend or anything.
Right. Right.
So that's where I'll probably go look for a 40, 50 card Jordan lot. I'm buying, Jordan stuff is very expensive, obviously. So I'm just looking for kind of the low end, low hanging fruit type stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some low end inserts, if I can make a few bucks off of those. But again, that's a player that's very commonly sold on eBay in lots, singles, you name it, it's out there. And then of course my Sports Illustrated for kids because I never find that
Yeah.
at shows either, and I've been immensely successful with those. Um, well, I have some mail day stuff, actually some kind of cool stuff that I picked up over the weekend since I didn't have a chance to get to any of that yet. I can show it on the show tonight and
Yeah.
show you a little bit of, and that was all eBay buys. So, but I generally try to stick to larger lots now. Like I would buy a lot of like 5 or 6 cards here or there. Um, obviously if there's a real banger in there, if you're getting a lot for $10 and there's $100 card in there, well, that's fine. But generally if I'm just looking for inventory, then I want a bigger buy at one time, better price, less shipping, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I think you make a great point about targeted shopping on eBay too. And
Yeah.
I remember you talking about that in my early days of doing this. And at that time, I'm like, man, I don't have any more than one card per player right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm getting to that point now. We talked about, I had a little bit of a run on Ricky Henderson cards this week, and I
Yeah.
probably started with a stack of like 20 of them I listed, and it's dwindling down. That's an example where I might go to eBay now and just look for lots of Ricky Henderson cards, something like
Yeah.
that.
And some of those players are pretty cheap when you buy lots. That's one of the things
Mhm.
I love about it. So I don't even have to care what Ricky Henderson cards are in it, to
Right,
be honest with you. If
right,
I can get 100 cards for like $5,
right.
it's almost impossible to lose. If you sell a couple of those cards at $1.50, $2 a piece, make some
Yep.
profit on them, you're doing well. So and Ricky's one of my players too, that I regularly stock and look to buy lots of. Recently I'd sold a bunch of Mark McGuire stuff, so I
Hmm.
was thinking of picking up another lot of him. Trying to think of the stuff I don't see at shows real often. Kobe, never find Kobe at shows ever
Right.
in bargain boxes. So I'm always looking for Kobe stuff. Um, there's just exceptions to it. Soccer, it's really hard to find soccer at our shows here. Hell, it was hard to find soccer at the National. I had to dig quite a bit to find the little bit I could, and got a little lucky on the last day and picked up a good chunk of soccer. But if I want a nice lot of Erling Haaland or Kylian Mbappe, I have to hit eBay. That's the only place I can get
Yeah.
it. Um, so to roundabout answer your question, I think it really depends on what I'm trying to buy, what I want
Yeah.
or need for inventory.
And hey, speaking of Team USA or soccer, how about that Team USA? That women's team really did a good one there, huh?
Yeah,
I tell you
we'll
what
just
though,
forget them.
when I
It's a
woke up this
rebuilding year, Charlie.
it's rebuilding year. Rebuilding 4
Rebuilding
years,
four
right? Or
years.
whatever it is. When I woke up this morning, flipped on the TV. I always have it on in the background in the morning, and I saw the Matildas and England playing, Australia and England, and that was a heck of a match.
Yeah. I'm kind of over it. Like the Premier League is on now, so the rest of
Yeah.
the soccer world is dead to me. Um, I watched Man City. I watched Arsenal a little bit the other day.
Now it's
I
the
really
Erling
like
Haaland
watching
show
Messi
again.
play in Miami. He's just dominating Major League
Is he?
Soccer. He makes them all look like morons. So I'm
I
enjoying
should
the hell
check
out of
that
that.
out.
Yeah, he's got like 9 goals in 6 games or something. And the
Really?
guy's like 40. Like he shouldn't be dominating the league, but he's just that good.
Yeah.
They have a pretty solid team too. What's interesting is that team I think they finished last place last year.
Really?
Yeah, and now they're in the final
Wow.
in the MLS tournament. So it's interesting to see how fast, with some money, and a
Lots of
little bit
money.
of creative recruiting, if you will. You tend, let's say you go get a Messi, right? That tends to start to attract some other players too.
Right.
That feel like it could help their game having a player like that around. So um, yeah, they're pretty good. It's fun. I've never watched Major League Soccer. I didn't see any point in it. I watched for a few years when Valderrama was there and Beckham and a couple of those guys, but um, generally the play is not up to the European League
Yeah.
par. So I didn't really watch much of it, but yeah, I'm having fun watching some of that too. Yeah, the Women's World Cup. It's not Team USA's year, that's for sure.
No, no. Couldn't live up to
Bargain
the hype.
Boxer says I am doing the same thing. If I buy a lot, there might be 10 cards that I want. Most of the cards left are junk. That definitely can happen. Now,
Yeah.
to me, depending on the player you're buying, cards aren't junk no matter what they are. I can buy a lot of Tom Brady, and if I get some 2010 score base cards in there, that's fine.
Yeah.
I literally just sold somebody bought 8 or 10 of those copies of that card from me, 2008 scorecard for $3 a copy. So junk is relative. Yeah, if it's a bunch of like no namer, low end early 90s printed stuff, yeah, you're probably going to get stuck with some of that. But any of the major players and stuff, you'll find buyers even for top space or collector's edge or any of that stuff, at least in my experience. No, Bargain Boxer is doing it a little differently. He's looking for low numbered cards and stuff like that. So it's not as straightforward as, well, this is what you have to buy or this is what you can't buy. You have to decide what you're doing with it, if you plan to keep it or whatever. He builds his collection going through shows and shops, putting together exactly what low numbered serial cards I'm adding to the collection. Exactly, yeah. You and I talked a little bit at the national, and yeah, so I definitely have an understanding of your goals and your targets, and it's completely different from mine. So you should be buying differently than I do, for sure. Appreciate the answers and insights. I have a fairly new store, but have been selling here and there since 2012, just trying to grow my store as well. Yeah, and this is precisely why I started a YouTube channel and why we do this show. I really liked Charlie's perspective from the more new seller side. As I'd been doing it for a while, I felt like I could offer some experience, insight, and as well as learn from somebody, getting new in and doing new research. And market changes. eBay has changed a ton, over the years. So, yeah, I think it's good to have all those perspectives and then try to decide what you want your store to be. It's the beauty of owning your own business is you can do what you want. The difficulty in that is you can do what you want.
Yeah.
You have to decide what you want to do. Like, there's no, like, I'll share all my experiences all day long. I'll tell you what I do. Charlie will tell you what he does, but that might not be what you can do or you want to do, or you have the funds to do it, whatever. So you got to take it with a grain of salt and figure out what you want to do from there. But yeah, are you up to 2,000 now, Charlie, or not quite there yet?
No, because the football season and coaching started, I've been struggling to list a lot. I'm still getting some out there most days. Pretty much just holding steady though.
Sure.
I think I have I had 1,226 listings right now, something like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing you'll notice as you get bigger and you have more listings. It's really harder to increase your listing count.
Yeah,
which isn't a bad thing because you're getting sales,
yeah.
which is actually the goal. But yeah,
Wait, that's the goal? I've been doing this wrong the whole time.
It is for me. I don't know what the hell you're doing, Charlie, but what does Stuart think?
He said he doesn't like that comment that I made.
Oh, I bet. Is Stuart missing or what? Where is he?
No, he's here. You didn't hear him?
No, I didn't hear him.
Oh my gosh.
I can't hear him. No.
How can you not hear that?
I don't hear it. There's nothing.
He's right next to the microphone, actually.
Didn't hear him at all.
Wait, you know what? I think I know what it is. I tried something new this week with our friends at StreamYard. Let me try this now.
Oh, yeah. There he is.
I turned on the background noise canceling, and he must be just at the right frequency that it cancels him out.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
we know how to make Stuart quiet now.
We can't cancel Stuart. You never cancel Stuart.
No cancel.
He'll eat you while you're sleeping. You can't do that. Bargain Boxer says he found one Kobe rookie in a bargain box at the National and had a ding corner, but he didn't care because I collect cards and don't grade cards because grading is a scam. I don't know that it's a scam. I think it's not as straightforward as they've been selling it to you for years, but
certainly not perfect.
Yeah, it depends on why are you grading. There's different reasons why people do it, but I agree. If I found a Kobean rookie, especially in a value box with a ding corner, I'd buy the crap out of that too. So
Sure.
I have a pretty. I should almost bring that out one show, because it's pretty cool. But I have about a 40 card rookie grouping of Kobe rookies.
Okay.
Um, Once in a while, I do something smart in my life, and back in 1995, 96, whatever that 96, 97, I think when he was a rookie. I saw how good he was, and I just started. This was back in the eBay days where you would mail a money order to pay for it. So I would buy Kobe
That's
rookies.
really aging yourself.
Yeah, I'd buy his tops rookies for like $3. I kid you not. And I would mail a mail order for $4, a dollar to ship it to me or whatever. And um, yeah, because sellers didn't want to take checks, right? Because they didn't, want to make sure the money was good or whatever. So I'd go to the
Right.
post office and I'd get money orders pretty regularly and send them out. So bought a lot
Was
of
that
Kobe
when you were
stuff that
still
way.
carrying around your brick phone?
I don't even think I had a cell phone because that would have been 96, 97. That's probably like right before I got a phone,
Yeah.
like my senior year of high school. Yeah, I'm an old bastard. Let's see. I found a Messi out of 50 last week in a bargain
Nice.
box. My first mess, dude. Yeah, I don't think I have a single Messi numbered card. I have a few Messi rookie cards.
That was probably a
Um,
mistake by the seller.
yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, Messi, you can get like, Charlie, I think I've told you this before too, that soccer cards are crazy for price.
Yeah.
I mean, Messi base cards, I can get like $6 or $7 for a base card, like
Mm-hmm.
just a tops, Premier League base card. I mean, I would think a nice looking card out of 50, from a licensed. Yes, we're going down that hole again this week, I guess. Um, but from a,
Please
yeah,
don't.
like if it's a leaf card numbered out of 50, it's not going to probably do as well as, like a tops where he's in his PSG uniform or something. But um, yeah, Messi out of 50. I mean, you're probably talking 20 to $30, I would
Yeah.
think. May probably more, to be honest with you, because I think even like I had sold some Topps Chrome refractors last week. So just a refractor, not a numbered card. And I think I got like $20 a piece for those. So I
Yeah.
was thinking out of 50, I mean 35 maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's a big find. I didn't find nothing like that in
And
those bargain
every
box
once in a
cards.
while the manufacturers will switch something up for a year on the stamps too, and sometimes you can miss them pretty easily.
Yeah, the where they hide them and things like that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if I was and I don't know when he says value box, I don't know how value he's talking. Like it was a $5 box or $10, value is different
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
everybody. But if I went through any $1 box and I saw Messi and it had any kind of color, hell, base Messi, I would buy it.
Yeah.
But let's say it had some color or something like that, I don't even care if it was numbered. I'd be buying it anyway.
Yeah.
So that'd be a nice surprise to see the out of 50 stamp on it. Bargain Boxer says he has that Jordan Sports Illustrated for me. He needs my address. Yeah, I can send you that later. Obviously, I'm not going to state that in the video, but yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, you had mentioned at the show that you had it, but you didn't have it with you at the time, when we ran into each other. So um, super nice of you. I never expect anything from anyone by any means. We do this to try to share some wisdom, share some experience, and have some discussions and some disagreements and some agreements. That's the motivation for doing the show. But I will definitely take your Jordan Sports Illustrated card if you would want to send it to me. Um, I wouldn't be shy about that. But yeah, I'm just gonna give you a quick little taste of
Your pickups.
one of my pickups. Yeah, look at this sucker.
Oh,
That's all SI Kids stuff.
nice.
I have another stack that's all top loaded too. I don't remember where the hell I put them, but there's another stack of them over there somewhere where they're all top loaded. So, um, Yeah. Sports Illustrated for Kids is still a thing. You want to see some of my other pickups since we're kind of
Sure,
doing
let's
it?
do it.
I got so all you sports fans out there are gonna hate me because it's a bunch of non-sports stuff again, of course.
Oh boy.
Um, I found these. I bought a lot of turtle stuff at the National, and they resell so well right now. There's a new movie out, all that kind of stuff. I found these little like credit card looking cards. They're made by Fleer. You can see the little Fleer logo
Yeah.
there, but they're they're plastic, and it's all these little punch out parts of these different characters. So like this is Splinter, right? So there's his head and his body. You can punch out his little arms and his legs, and then there's a stand right there that you can punch out, and they stand up. It's like here's all the parts of Shredder punched out. So one of them came already punched, but I'd never seen these before. They were pretty cool. Like I said, turtle inserts do really well. The other thing I liked about this was there was no like fluff obscure characters like they like to do a lot of, with inserts and that. It's all main characters. Like here's Foot Soldier. I got like 4 or 5 of the Foot Soldiers. There's 4 or 5 Donatellos, some Michelangelos, another group of different Michelangelos, Leonardo's, Raphael. So it's all like the actual turtles. This one's kind of cool too. The turtle cycle you can punch out. I think that was right way.
Now it's challenging.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're pretty easy to put together, but there's some more Raphael. So these were called, they were made in 2003, and they're 3D trading cards.
Ooh.
So you can kind of see here how the Michelangelo is put together, and you kind of see like his front arm comes out the front, and the other arm goes behind the shell and stuff like that. So, yeah, I thought that was I'd done some pretty big money on some of the other Fleer mid 2000s turtle stuff I bought, so I was pretty interested in this. Got them for a good price too. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like $10, so like
Okay.
50 cents each. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Then you saw my big stack of Sports Illustrated for Kids, and I have some unpunched or uncut sheets
All right.
that I got with some of the Olympic Hall of Fame ones. These oversized ones, which oversized and mini cards. They're my
Yeah.
favorite. They're all my favorite, but I think I got these for 99 cents. They were really cheap, and it's like 5 or 6 different sheets of unpunched stuff. Nothing like super stand out.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of want to do a video on the big bulk lot that I bought, because there's actually some. I didn't go through all the cards in it, but I took out a handful, and there's some pretty good ones in there. I was really surprised. Whenever you buy 700 of something, without really having like photos or info on it, I was just taking a shot at it.
Yeah.
I think he wanted like 300 for it, which I wasn't going to pay that. And then I offered him 80, and I think he came back at $100. So I paid like 7 cents a card. But
Okay.
for Sports Illustrated for Kids, that's a pretty fair deal. Then I got some more. Hold on. I'm coming back. I got, my love of Pac-Man, right? My Pac-Man sticker cards.
Yep.
Well, these are Super Pac-Man, which I have no Super Pac-Man right now, but it's
So with the cape.
yeah, with the cape. Let's see if there's anything disturbing in any of these. That was always fun to look at last time.
Like that last set?
Yeah.
A little racy on that last one.
Yep. But these are kind of cool because they have, the different foods that show up in the game, in the center of the board, and you can eat that. These all have like the different foods. Like there's the donut, here's the hamburger, the bananas, of course the cherries are here. Eat the forbidden fruit, it says. It's a pack attack.
Pack attack.
What an appetite. Is this guy for real? Darn those super dots. But yeah, so just some more unique. My hero, I'm super. Look at tiny little Super Pac-Man there. So there's a fair amount of like Miss Pac-Man in here, which is very popular. Here's one of the point stars, the 200
Nice.
points. So this card's kind of cool because you actually get 4 stickers. You have each of the bubbles are their own sticker up here. Then you've got the point star, and then you've got the dead Pac-Man. So, piece of cake. Anyway, and then there's a bunch of purple ones. I don't know why there's different colors, but here's a boot. You eat the shoe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love you, Super Pac-Man. So you got your. Are you eating again? just call him Pac-Man Fat. Pac-Man MVP, and it's got all the food on it. This one's cool because it's got the turbo button right on it.
Yeah.
For Super Pac-Man.
Don't push the button.
Yeah. Here comes Super Pac-Man. Yeah, I thought those were really cool. I hadn't seen those before. Got a nice big lot. I'd rather be flying. This one's kind of funny. I have a Super Pac headache. Yeah, those will be fun. I'll get those up in the store. Nice. I like it when it's a lot like that where it's just all the variety, like it's somebody that was trying to put together a set.
Yeah.
So you have like one of each of it's easy for me to just have the variety that way then, as opposed to buying a lot of 10 and you get a couple duplicates, and then you want some of the other ones and you got to find another lot. And it's nice when it lands where it's actually got the variety in it.
Yep.
And then this was a really nice buy. So another good sized lot. This is all Ren and Stimpy, which is one of my biggest sellers. But this was a heck of a deal. It was $25 for 200 of the foil prism cards, which is a deal right there. I'll show you some of these. So it's these where it's the different foil patterns on all the cards.
Love it.
Yeah, I sell a ton of them. There's also a sticker version of each one. So there's actually 3 patterns for each card.
Log. That's my favorite.
So this has like a splatter pattern on it. Can you kind of see the splatter in the foil
absolutely.
there? Then you've got like this one, which has like the prismatic circles, right? Or bubbles, whatever you want to call it. And then there's this laser pattern like this, where it's got like lasers shooting all over it, if you can kind of see that. So there's basically 3 parallels to each card, and then there's also a sticker version of each one. So like totally in my wheelhouse, right?
That makes me want to go watch Ren and Stimpy.
Right, exactly. And then to top it all off, I got 3 of what they called the Cheesy Chase cards. So these were pretty tough pulls. I think they were like 1 per box. I've sold these before for like $20-25 alone.
Joy.
For each one. So here's another one with Powdered Toast Man. Actually, there's two Powdered Toast Man ones. It's two Cheesy Chases of the same card, I guess.
There you go.
I mean, those are like, I'll do like $75 just for these 3 cards. So I was really excited to see those in there. And then to top that, I got a whole bunch of the regular Nicktoons cards.
Okay.
So there's like, here's Rugrats. This is all Rugrats here, I think. But then there's like Doug. Like here's Doug Funny. There's a bunch of Doug stuff in here.
Not a fan of Doug.
No, but there is fans. there are fans. Here's some of there's some of the different inserts here. His little butt, the little butt thing punches out. So you see his little butt on the back when you put your finger in it.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Welcome to the '90s.
Yeah.
But these were all thrown in, and I mean, there's probably 30, 40, Nicktoons cards here, and then a bunch of, like I said, the insert ones.
Sure.
The little punch out cards. There's stickers. Here's another. Oh, this is like Mr. Potato Head. So you can choose which eyes you want to put on Stimpy here. It's, like
Interesting.
color forms kind of thing.
I haven't seen that before.
So that stuff's all inserts, which is nice. Here's another sticker card, pen pals. Oh, this is the one where you punch him out and he goes on your pencil and he like holds onto your pencil. Remember those?
I do not, but that's pretty cool.
There was that was like a big thing in Valentine's when I was in high school. When
Yeah,
I
I
was in
remember
grade
that.
school.
I don't remember it in
Yeah, so
cards.
there were a lot of Valentine sets that came where they were like pencil huggers, and it had
Yeah.
like the Valentine, and you'd punch the thing out and you'd put it on your pencil. But a ton of the different tattoo inserts. Here's some of the Ren and Stimpy ones from the Nicktoons set. A little Ren and Stimpy header card there. So I was really buying everything for the really for the foil set, and then I got all that, and then on top of that, I got all the Nicktoon stickers, which sticker cards. That's
Yeah, that's your wheelhouse.
one of my little honey holes. So that's got all the Ren and Stimpy. It's got Doug. It's got the Rugrats. All that stuff is all in here. So yeah. So that was a hell of a buy at $25.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best buys I've ever had. Including the Cheesy Chase and all that stuff. I think that was pretty much my buys for this past weekend. But like I said, I don't generally have that much to show anymore because I don't buy that much on eBay now.
Right.
But I had what was I looking for? I think it was the Ren and Stimpy stuff is what I was looking for. And then I found this lot, so I was like, well, that went quick. And then I was like, well, try to find some other turtle stuff, some other Pac-Man stuff. So what I liked was all this stuff that I found is all stuff I don't have at all.
Yeah.
Instead of just adding to quantity. I mean, the Stimpy stuff is, but there's a bunch of other Ren and Stimpy stuff too. So
Yeah, that's a good buy there.
Yeah. So I was really happy with that. This weekend I'm going to be looking more for sports stuff because, like I said, I didn't buy much online that way. I like to buy the non-sport more on eBay because I don't find it at card shows generally.
Sure.
It's kind of unusual that at the National I found so much. I wasn't expecting that at all. So yeah, that was kind of.
And it's interesting that you did because a lot of the feedback that I heard after the show was that people felt there wasn't as much non-sport as they thought there would be. So
there wasn't after I moved through it.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. I was like, after you got their first day and cleaned it up, yeah, they didn't find much.
I completely disagree. I found not just a decent quantity of non-sport, I found really good non-sport. Tons of stuff I could buy. So, and I still have, probably a 800 card row yet in one of my monster boxes of non-sport stuff that I got a list.
Yeah.
I have another lot of Pac-Man too that I got a list.
Wow.
So I got a good chunk of Pac-Man stuff to get through. But I was, with the National, I was gone, and then I was gone this past weekend for 4 days, and it's like, now I just kind of got some stuff piling up here, and I have to get through it. one of the things I've been trying to list a lot of this week, because I've done really well with them, surprisingly, because I got them so cheap, but a lot of these sports team stickers.
Okay.
Bought a big lot of them. It was just Fleer, because Fleer didn't have the rights to um, using chewing gum in their packs, so they put a sticker in each one.
Right.
Um, and I always assumed there really wasn't much market for it, but I found a lot of, like 1,000 of them for $50 or something. It was really super cheap, fraction of a penny, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not, right?
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it, because I bought some football team stickers a while ago. They were a little older; they were like early '70s. Um, but I bought a couple stacks of them just to kind of see how they would do, since I do so well with the non-sports sticker cards, and the football ones sell pretty decent here and there. Not a ton of money, but I get a lot of quantity sales. So
Mhm.
if I list, a couple of these Boston Red Sox ones, I'll probably get a buyer buying both of them. You know,
Okay.
um, in some years they did like a team logo sticker, and then a logo of like the baseball hat, with the team logo on. Um, so a lot of times you'll get a buyer that'll buy like one of each of those.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I started listing some of the baseball stuff right before I left for the National. I listed a little bit more when I got back, and they've been pretty consistently selling. So I'm going to try to get as much of that on as I can this week yet. Um, I did get a bunch of you remember the Upper Deck hologram ones?
Yeah.
I got
Those
a
are
bunch of
sharp.
those. I don't know how those are going to do. I don't know how much, like, holograms isn't really like a thing anymore. So
How
I'm interested to
so,
see how those do.
so here's a technique question for you. How are you going to photo those with the mirror like finish on there?
Yeah, I'm probably just going to put it on my black background and take a picture and see what I get out of it.
Because that's
And
one of the things I fight with the really sharp prisms too, is like the
yeah,
silver prisms, right?
yep,
That you're just looking at your phone in the image of the card
yeah.
sometimes, and then I'm fighting to get just the right angle to
What
not
I
get
what I do when I don't use the box, like a photo box or anything like that. But what I do
Mhm.
have is I have a ring light. I guess I can show you this. So I have a ring light right there. Can you see my ring light
Yeah.
right behind me? Um, so I have a ring light, and then just a desk ring light. So
Hmm.
then right underneath it, I will just photo on a black surface there,
Yeah.
and having that ring light behind it, like above and behind it, um, usually gets me a pretty good shot of what I want for showing off the shininess, but also still being able to see what the card is.
Yeah, I have a similar setup. I have an LED bar light, and I have a black mat that I'm taking it on.
Yep.
But those really reflective cards, I find I have to get pretty far away from it and then at an angle, um, to try and get the reflection of the phone out of it. And it frustrates me, quite honestly.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is try to like put it on a stand or something.
Hmm.
Um, and see, instead of shooting it from above, if you're shooting it straight on.
Yeah,
Um, Now they make a bunch of fancy stands, but usually what I use is my phone charger stand,
yeah,
and I just put it right on there, and then you just shoot it that way.
yeah. That's a good tip.
Um, and I just like using that stand because it's right here. I just unplug it. I'll bring it right over to where my ring light is. I'll put it on the stand and I'll shoot that. So
Yeah, I just have a bunch of these that I'll use sometimes. The little plastic
yeah,
stands.
and that works too. Yeah, I have a few of those, but they're actually mostly holding up my PSA graded FARF stuff.
Yeah,
And I don't really want to take cards down and do all that. I'd rather just
yeah.
use my little cell phone stand. Got to plug it back in now. Um, Yeah, so you know, you kind of got to find what technique works for you. Some of them are just that shiny, like some of the early. Usually it's the upper deck holograms that are to me are the biggest problem. I don't really have many problems with like Topps Chrome or Prism Silver or any of that
Yeah,
stuff. But that those early upper deck holograms, like the Game Breaker ones and stuff like that, those are atrocious because
yeah,
they don't look that great, you know, just to the naked eye, being able to wiggle it around. Um, and I just try to get as best a shot as I can, put a good description on it, and the person buying it should kind of know what they're looking for.
sure.
Um, and I've had sales on those cards, so I don't really worry about it too much. I don't get returns like, you know, oh, this isn't what I thought it would be. I couldn't tell in the picture, you know. I don't have anything concerning from any of that effort. And again, you got to look at what you're charging for it. I mean, if I'm charging $3-4 for that hologram, I'm not going to put that much effort into
Right.
making it super fancy. But what you could do is you could shoot. You can take multiple. You know, you're allowed up to like 12 photos, I think, in a listing before you
Yeah,
get charged. So you could like hold it in your hand and tilt it this way a little bit and do that. You know, um,
that's too much.
I do that a lot with serial numbered cards where I'll take, you know, my front and my back, and then I'll take kind of like a zoomed in shot of the serial
Yeah,
numbering because, like you said, a lot of times you can't see the serial numbering. Um, so you could add a photo or two if you really feel like, you know, it needs some clarity, and that won't cost you anything other than time, obviously.
yeah.
Um, but Aretha Franklin's back, one of the greatest names in YouTube commentary history,
Right.
and she says, "Guys and goats." I don't think we'll be calling our show that. We'll be changing our name to that. That sounds too Magic Mikey, I think. For what we're going for, guys and goats. I mean that could get weird in a hurry. But I mean, not that it's not weird as it is, but um, she also says turns out not using gum was a better idea. Yeah. What's funny about that was Top's big fight with those companies. We talked about this a little bit last week in that antitrust suit that Topps faced, or Topps faced back in '81, I think it was, when Fluke
Yeah.
and Donruss were trying to get in. And that was their big thing was like, haha, you can't put gum in the packs. And then like 4 years later, no one was putting gum in the packs. So
Right.
it really didn't matter. But yeah, it's ironic how that stuff turns out like that. Nothing like losing one card to a gum stain and another card to a wax stain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that added rarity to cards that were maybe overprinted. So um believe it or not, at least obviously we play the low end game, but I don't really run into it much where anybody gives a crap if there's a gum stain on it or not, or a wax stain on it. You know, I take a picture of the front, a picture of the back, and I post it, and I sell a ton of cards with stains and stuff on it. I don't lower the price because it has a stain on it versus another copy.
Really?
Nope. And I'll sell any of them. You know, super roached cards will even sell. Those you have to, you know, discount a little bit, but there's a buyer for just about everything. Miscut cards are a big seller of mine. I list them specifically as miscuts. People look for those. Um, so yeah, unless it's like a really nasty, you know, gum mark or wax stain or something, most people don't care if there's a little wax on the back. You're not buying 52 mantles, you know, where it's this huge investment piece. You're probably buying something to fill in a set. You know, if the card's centered and it looks decent on the front, who cares if there's a little wax stain on the back?
Yeah.
So let's see, card honesty. When taking pictures of reflective or chrome cards, I use a black foam board. Then I cut a small square hole
Yeah.
out and shoot the picture through the hole.
So that's like a true photographer trick. I've heard
Yeah,
of that
that
before.
seems like that would make sense. I'm not going to do that, but that's a great idea. That sounds like too much. I don't think I'm going to put that kind of effort in, but
Yeah,
um,
we know how much effort Adam wants to put in.
so to me, time is the value. Time is the value. Everything else, you know, is your dollars and cents, fine. But if it's going to take more time, it better make me more money. If it's not going to make me
Right.
any more money, I'm not
Absolutely.
spending my time.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I look at it. Tom in the house. Hey, how's it going, Tom? Thanks for
TB.
joining us. Sorry, we started a little late. I don't know if that mattered to you or not, since you started late, but um, yeah, thanks for joining us. We're getting a good conversation going, so that's always the goal of the show here. We'd like to continue to grow the show, get some more participation, some more conversations. So um, if any of you that are watching haven't liked, subscribed, done any of that stuff, we'd really appreciate it if you would take just a quick minute to do that, so we can keep getting this out there to as many people as possible, even if they hate us. I welcome the haters. Bring it on. Let's do it. What does Stuart think of haters?
Stuart thinks haters are.
I feel him. I feel him. We are one. I am one with the Stuart, and the Stuart is one with me. I think that's like a Star Wars quote or something.
Something like that. I did use a Yoda quote on the football field today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. The kid told me he'd try something. And I said, do or do not try.
There is no try. Yeah. It's very true, although I still applaud effort. I still think effort has value,
sure.
But yeah, anyway. Yeah, some people pay up for miscuts. Absolutely. They definitely have a following. Yeah, I will literally buy miscuts on purpose because I think they're pretty amazing. Charlie, do you remember the star stickers?
It doesn't really ring a bell.
So Fleer actually issued like a sticker card set, or I think it was a set for a couple of years. Holy cow, I just got like super wicked here outside. Sounds like a hurricane.
Really?
But yeah, so these are actually, it'd probably help if I took it out of these. They're in really crappy sleeves besides. Yeah, this whole card is actually a sticker.
Okay.
Never really took off, of course, but it was kind of interesting that they were like, all right, fine, we can only do stickers. We'll just run with that. And we'll make whole damn sticker cards. Which obviously, translated later on to inserts for non-sport products and that kind of stuff too. But anyway, I just saw them sitting here as I was going through the other stuff, and I was wondering if anybody remembered those at all. All right, my last 3 sales have all been freebies from past buys. That's the best. I bought a 360 George Pickens auction, seller threw in a Kenny Pickett Prism base rookie and a Contenders Optic rookie. Jeez, that's nice. Pickett stuff actually does pretty well. I get quite a few offers on my Pickett autos. I have a Pickett auto numbered out of 4, I think. And I can tell there's buzz for him because I've been getting quite a few offers on it lately.
For sure.
So yeah, and it's funny you bring that up, Tom, because I talk about that a lot in my sales day videos and stuff like that about how I got this card for free. I love selling free cards. It's awesome. And kudos to the sellers who send free cards. I think that's awesome. Add some value, especially if they're selling cards for a higher price. It's nice if they throw in a few, low end freebies. That's not really their market anyway, but it does add some value to the money that your buyer is spending.
The free ones I always get are like 1993 Tom Gugliotta.
Yeah, those aren't really okay.
Those are packaging fillers.
Correct. I want to define this a little bit. To me, freebies are like a card that actually has some kind of value. Somebody would want it.
Right.
Like a Bo Jackson, Provisions card or something like that. That's a nice freebie. Not super expensive, not super rare or anything like that, but that's a nice freebie if you bought a lot of Bo Jackson stuff, or you bought something like that and they throw it in. Yeah, if they're taking 1991 Fleer, which we all know is the worst set ever made. I haven't said that yet this week. But those P yellow cards, with the terrible black printing lines on them. If they throw those in, unless it's Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., or Nolan Ryan, that's just packaging material. Let's see. Got to remember to go back to that seller. Yeah, if they're sending you Kenny Pickett rookies prisms for free, that might be. I don't know that I would count on that every time.
Probably not.
That's not guaranteed, but if you're adding that kind of value, that definitely ups your potential for what you would buy from that store. Is your eBay store having a strong summer? Mine has slowed down so much month after month. No, mine has not slowed down at all. It's exploded actually.
I feel
Um,
steady with mine.
yeah. Once well, part of that was my activity has increased it. I started doing promotions. That's a huge game changer. Um, and I've been trying to list a lot. So as you get more listings in there, you should see more sales too. And I've just been doing less, kind of what we alluded to earlier, less random bulky buys on eBay where I don't get to cherry pick what I want, and I've been buying more from shows. So the listings I've been putting on are generally more easily sellable, if that's correct verbiage. Um, uh, Products. So I'm specifically choosing Nolan Ryan inserts and Bojack, stuff like that that has a better market than Tom Gugliotta cards.
Speaking of promotions, I gotta take a. So I'm looking. I found it now to see how many listings I've promoted now. So I have less than 10% of my listings promoted right now. So I've been doing more, but I still don't have a lot. But it's interesting. So I spent some time this week kind of putting some data together around my store sales, kind of beyond what they do in the seller reports. But about a third of my sales in the last week were promoted sales. So
Yeah.
if I promote more, I think that'll continue to climb. Like I think it definitely does work.
Yeah.
Because you saw a huge increase when you started promoting everything.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge increase. So I'm one of the things it's not really a metric, but it's just something that's easy for me to see. So I like it at a quick glance. But when I first pull the app up and it shows your 90-day total or your 90-day whatever, I like to see that number increase as I'm looking at it. Because that's rollover, right? So it's 90 days to the previous 90 days from that date. So it'll obviously go down, when sales fall off, and it'll go up as you have sales and that previous time frame didn't have a sale. So to me, that's like a quick look at trend of whether or not sales are increasing. And I've seen that number in the app grow continuously for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Which is good. Bargain Boxer says he was wrong. It wasn't Sports Illustrated. It's an Inside Stuff perforated card. I wanted even more because I do not have one. So that sounds amazing. The two freebie pickets, 5x my Pickens auction win. Beyond that, slow because slacking on listing. Yeah, listing is and I've had a harder time with that recently just because I've been gone. And I don't take cards with me when I'm on vacation or anything. And it's nice to see just sales and not really having to do anything, and the sales just keep showing up. But yeah, it really starts to, lower your amount of listings, and you're just not adding any products. So that's shipping and listing and shipping, right, Charlie?
That's it.
That's the game. Same, Charlie. Oh, you can't agree with Charlie. We don't allow that here. How do I ban this guy? Ban hammer. Oh, wait, check this out. I can star a comment. What does
Yeah.
that do? What does that do? Did we know
I think
that
it
before?
pins it to the top or something.
Oh, shoot. Well, somebody type in here, go Cubs, and I'll pin that to the top.
Boo.
I got a free $10 and $15 cards for a $4 purchase.
Yeah.
That's weird. I wonder if they weren't intending to send you those for free. Maybe they thought it was like a combined sale and sent them.
There's only one way to find out. Buy from him again.
Charlie's giving her the Drew Carey vibe with that baby face.
And the glasses, yeah.
And the glasses, yeah. I think it's
Does
the
that,
goat over your shoulder.
does,
I think that's
does
what
that
does it.
help if I take them off? Now it's not Drew Carey, but now
Now
I
you
can't
now you
see.
have to say now you have to say, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Right? Right? Oh, I got a bee right by me here. I almost got stung.
Oh geez. In your basement?
Yeah. Well, I get
Weird.
it's not a bee. It was flipped over and it had some stripes on it, but I don't think it's a bee.
Oh, stomp on that sucker.
It
Tom says he
reminds me
does
of when I was
2%.
out in Muscatine or not Muscatine, Iowa for that show, and I almost had a swarm carry me away by the time we were
Oh,
done because I was outside on the deck.
no good. I actually don't mind bees. Wasps, no way.
Yeah, yeah.
Tom says he does 2% promotion on every listing. I don't know if 2% is really going to change the game a whole lot, but if you're finding success with it, maybe I underestimate the lower
Yeah,
percent.
because we're doing the dynamics typically, so it's
Yep.
variable.
So okay, here's my thought on this. All right. So let's say you set it at 8%, right? And the rest of the market's like at 10%, because they give you that like suggested percentage. Let's say they're listing at 10 and you're listing at 8, and you got a $5 card. What does that cost you in 2%? 10 cents on a $5 card?
Yeah,
Do you maybe just want to give up that 10 cents and then actually be competitive? You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, yeah, the promotional percentage thing is a tough one. I have 30,455 listings right now. I am not going to go through, set a percentage on each one and go back and try to maintenance that. Nah. I price all my stuff high, top of the market prices. I'll give up, and I've mentioned this before on here with promotions. I sell more full price cards than I did before. I'm making more than 10% on the sale that I would have been making before by doing the promotion. So it's getting me the sale and it's really not costing me anything more than it would have normally cost me if I had to send offers or do whatever at discount.
yeah.
So I'm not fighting the promotion power at all. I'm just going with it.
That's that full price card comment. That's a good point too. So we talk about a lot of times I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is grab my phone and see what's offer eligible and send out some offers and things like that. So I looked at that breakdown by sales channel too, and it's like a full third of my listings are still selling full price.
Yep.
And then there's about 22% that the buyer's initiating a best offer to me.
Yep.
And then it does show that I'm active in the ones where I initiate the offer because that's about 45%. But
Yeah.
it surprises me at how often, people they still just go through list price is fine,
Yep.
just start that sale.
And my numbers are actually like right on with yours, which is interesting because our stores are at such different scales. But yeah, mine it's like 40, and I haven't looked at it since yesterday, but mine's like 42% on my offer sent out. So we're a little different there. I'm a little bit less there. But yeah, I'm at maybe 25% or so with promoted sales, but almost all those are full price sales.
Yeah.
So if I'm asking $5 for a card, $4.99, right? No shipping, and I'm sending an offer, I'm probably sending an offer at $4. Well, that's like 20 some percent off, right? 22%, 23%, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can sell it at 5, right, my asking price, and pay eBay 10%, I'm still up like 12% over what I would have sent for an offer. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Not plus it got in front of eyes who'd actually buy the damn thing, which you can't control just by offering a discount. That's only going to go to the person who is following that listing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't send it out to 6 million extra eyes or whatever it is. That's excessive, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So it's a very cheap marketing ploy. You're not paying per click, anything like that. So it's not costing you anything until you make that sale. I price at the top of the market, and the reason I do that is for all of these things to give, multiple quantity discounts and be able to send offers and be able to accept offers and be able to pay a promotion valuation. If you're pricing at the top of the price point, it shouldn't matter if you're giving up 10, 15, 20%.
Yeah.
So anyway, Tom says he's got 203 listed, $2,118 on 28 sales. I'm not sure what the 2118 is. That like on those 28 sales you made 21?
Yeah, I think we
18 or
talked about that last week.
21?
He had some higher end cards he was selling there too.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. I
Yeah.
didn't know if it meant his listed cards total 2,118. It's hard to read that. There can be a
Maybe,
lot of
maybe. I will say
yeah.
this though, Tom. I don't think your listed cards is much higher than it was last week when we talked.
Yeah, what? He's slacker. How do we give him the slacker button? What is there you go. There you go.
Stewie.
He does not care for slackers either. I promote using the recommended, which I know is ridiculous, but it's working. Dude, I'm totally on board with you. I think that's what I do.
And
I
2
don't
months
see
ago, Adam
those
was
people
dead
who are
set
like you
against
can
it.
own. Yeah, the people who are like you can only you got to cap your promotion at 10%. You don't want to do any more than that. Well, guess what? I'll put mine at 10.5. And for those couple pennies more, I'm getting in front of, way more eyes than you are. So
Yep.
I don't know. I don't really, who cares? It's just a cost of doing business. Go Lou Bob. Who's Lou Bob?
I don't know. That one I don't know. But is it something associated with Drew Carey?
Lou Bob. Oh, maybe. Is he like the announcer at, because I did the voice thing or whatever for Price is Right. Maybe he's the announcer guy. Because Drew
We'll
Carey
have
doesn't call
Tom
people
explain
down,
it to
right?
us.
All right. I'm sure he'll clarify for us later on. It's true. You will snag casual customers who don't sort low to high and sell faster than the seller racing to the bottom. Yeah. Racing to the bottom is just about the dumbest thing you can do for your business. It doesn't make any sense. Unless you're getting stuff uber cheap or free, then it really doesn't matter because everything is profit. But
Right.
to do that like continuously or like as an actual business model, good luck keeping that one up.
I
Let's see.
learned
Or
that
you'll
lesson after
negotiate.
the first month or so.
Yeah, exactly. Or you'll negotiate to a competitive price, but get the sale over the guy who priced it that way in the first place. Yes. Aretha Franklin gets me. We've got something here. Exactly. That's why I price at the top. I want that leeway. I want the top price. There are plenty of people that are gonna be like, the guy's got good feedback. He's reputable. He ships fast. All those good things. I'm gonna just pay him his $5 and get this thing over with. Don't want to deal with offers and all that stuff. Great. I'll take that guy's money all day long. Girl's money, whoever. Person's money all day long. And then I'll have the other one where now I've got some negotiating room for, somebody else who refuses to pay full price. They want some kind of a deal. I said I was slacking. LOL, shame. Yeah.
Shame,
Yeah,
shame,
shame.
shame.
We play the shame game here. Don't. You can't bring that in this house if you don't want to hear the shame game. Just took a bunch more picks. They're gonna bust a bunch out for listings. He's trying to defend himself now, Charlie. Look what you did.
Well, and that's good though, because that's one of the strategies we talked about. Take pics on your phone so you can fit in more listings just wherever you're at. So he's moving along.
And just list on your phone. You don't have to have fancy listing programs. You don't have to have fancy scanners. If you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that stuff. but I don't know. I don't see the value in the cost, because you still want to pace your growth. You don't want to just all of a sudden slam 30,000 listings in there when you have 1,000 now, and try to scale up everything else that
Yeah.
happens after that, because it's not just listing. Then you've got the sales you have to manage. Then you got the offers you got to manage. Then you've got feedbacks and shipping and blah blah blah. Packaging materials, like, great, you sell 200 cards in a day, but you only have 24 envelopes. That might be an issue. So I think it's smart to. I don't think it's smart to just slam in a bunch of listings just to have listings. It's my personal opinion, you know.
Yeah.
Lou Bob, Lewis Roberts. Oh,
Luis,
duh.
or as
He
I
got
like to
into it
call
with
him,
some Cubs fans.
Luis Robert.
Robert, right? Got into it with some Cubs fans. Nice. The Cubs pin
Not good.
comment. Don't mind me and how I got their edibles. Oh,
Animals.
lucky bastard. I have some, but yeah. Let's see. I had someone buy a gift today. Paid me the $15 I charged this. Oh, hold on. I don't have that one on there. I had someone buy a gift today. Paid me the $15 I charged to send priority. Now that doesn't happen often, but it does sometimes. Plus, it was a 20
Oh, okay.
card.
Yeah,
A
so they
gift
needed
today.
fast delivery for a birthday or something, and
Yeah,
I
I've actually run into that before.
yeah.
People buy last second stuff on eBay, which is weird to me, but um, I've had people message that for me before. Oh, this might, my nephew's been looking for this Tom Brady card forever, and his birthday's on Saturday, and that's what I'll tell them. I'll say, hey, then let's change your shipping option to priority or whatever it is, and you pay up the difference. Or I'll sell a glass card that's actually plexiglass, and I'll have to hear about,
Oh boy.
sending a PWE, but I digress. We don't need to go into that today. So,
You sound bitter. You sound bitter.
it's just, it's, so one thing that's awesome about eBay is I actually really like the customers. It was harder back in the day when I started on eBay in like 95, 96. Um, Customers just didn't get it. The payment services weren't there, so it was like frustrating trying to get money orders and shipping stuff out and blah blah blah. The whole thing was a pain. You couldn't print postage online. There was no tracking. Blah blah blah. Those things have been resolved, and the customers now are awesome. 99.9% of my customers I deal with are fantastic. Even if there's a problem, like, I'll have somebody message me and be like, dude, I know it's not your fault, I know you packed it right, but look what postal service did to this package, or oh man, yeah, sorry, I bought this one and you sent me this one by mistake, can I send it back, or can you just refund, whatever. Most of the customers are very understanding that it's a small business being run, and they want to, make sure that um, they're understanding of how things work, and that you can't control the mail all the time and stuff like that. So, but there are times when you have someone that just does not live in the actual reality outside of their computer and doesn't understand the processes of things and the costs of things, and um, is what it is. If you don't have a blocked bidder buyer list, you might want to start one. And it just kind of grows over time. So scammers, that's a whole other thing. But
Oh yeah.
one of the things I love about selling in the low end market, you don't have to worry about much of that. And if somebody scams you out of a $2 card, you give them the $2 and you say, woe is me, and you move on.
Yeah.
I don't really focus too much on that stuff. If I send 5,000 cards out and two of them don't get there or were damaged or whatever, customer wasn't happy with it, um, great, here's your money, I'm done, let's move on. Let's see, definitely have the list on bookmark already. Yeah. um let's see, I have a nice paragraph of names in my blocked list. Yeah, same. It grows a little bit, every few months. but I had a purchase this week from a new eBayer, and it was a fairly expensive card. It was a $70 card, which is a little bit bigger card for me. And they had zero feedback. They had just joined like a week ago on eBay. And I got a message from eBay within an hour or so saying, yeah, we found some issues with this account. We shut it down. If you didn't ship yet, don't ship. Wait until we contact you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, sure, no problem. I'm not sending them anything, so what do I care? I'll wait till it resolves itself, or they give the money back, or whatever it is. Then what's really weird about this one was I got a message from a different eBay account from somebody who's like the friend of this person or knows this person that said, hey, I don't know why, but eBay shut her account down and she really wants it. It was a My Little Pony card. You bought this My Little Pony card. Did you ship it right away? And I'm not even going to reply to that. There's no reason I would, I would need to reply to an eBay account that I don't even have a transaction with. But it's interesting how they'll really grasp at it and still try to get something from you. I'm not sure why they would want a $70 My Little Pony card as a scam item, but whatever.
There's a
My Little
big
Pony's
group
pretty
of people
awesome.
that want those.
Yeah. So I still have the card and I still have the money. They haven't given the money back yet. So I don't.
Isn't there actually
know.
one of those special names for My Little Pony fans? Like, don't they have their own group name?
Yeah, they're called bronies.
Brownies?
Bronies.
Bronies? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought
like
so, yeah.
Like bro ponies.
Yeah.
Bronies.
Yeah. Bro
so,
ponies.
Right. Right. Yeah, so that's been kind of a new one to me. Yeah, she clarifies your bronies. Yep, that's exactly what they're called. I've got some male friends that are into ponies. Whatever, to each his own.
Yeah.
I like the ponies. I think they're pretty cool. When I was a kid, I was the middle kid in my family, and I had two sisters. So I played a lot of My Little Ponies and Barbies. This Barbie movie comes out. I'm like, dude, I remember all that stuff. Sometimes it was, I would take my GI Joes and I would have them shoot at the ponies, and I'd sort of make my angle on playing with those things once in a while.
Sure.
But there were a lot of times where I was just sitting on the floor combing pony hair.
And your strawberry shortcakes?
We didn't have a whole lot of strawberry shortcake.
What?
Yeah, my younger sister might have had one. I'm trying to remember. But I baked plenty of crap in the Easy Bake Oven.
Easy Bake Oven, yeah.
Yeah, I had leg warmers on at one point. I did all the stuff. It was fine. I liked playing with my sisters. They were fun. So if it was two girls versus one boy, so we generally played a lot of those types of toys. I mean, now they don't. Now they, it's not gender specific anymore. But back then it was. It was like, this is the girls' aisle. This is the boys' aisle. But I played plenty of GI Joes and Ninja Turtles and Star Wars. I did a lot of that too. But I had tons of fun with the ponies and that kind of stuff. My sister had this cool stable thing where you could like walk them in, and there was like a shower thing, or you could clean the ponies off.
What?
I don't know. It was pretty cool. They did a Magic the Gathering My Little Pony box set crossover a few years ago after Hasbro bought Wizards of the Coast. Interesting.
That's cool.
I wonder how did that do? Oh, I think I knew that because I saw a bunch of the gaming cards at the National. I didn't buy those. They were just like action cards and stuff, but so I might have seen that. I loved My Little Pony as a child. Duh, who didn't? Barbie and the Rockers. Yeah.
Ooh, what about Gem?
Gem?
Yeah.
Gem and the Rockers. Yeah. I had two sisters. I did a ton of that stuff. The Rockers, LFG. What does LFG? I'm old. What does LFG mean?
Yeah, I'm not hip with that lingo.
Life Forget. That's me. I don't know. Let's
Maybe I
see.
forgot.
Oh, and
Yeah.
look at you. You still kept your organs intact. People worry too much about what kids play with. Yeah, honestly, I was never like that as a kid. I was like, dude, I'm gonna go play ponies. I didn't care. I'd tell my buddies like, no, I'm not playing football right now. I'm in here braiding pony hair, dude. Leave me alone. It was cool. And I'll tell you what, that was great training for having a little girl myself years later.
I
I know
bet.
all the ponies, I know all the Supergirls, superhero friends, and yeah, I could do her hair, it's awesome. Let's see, I was always a little jealous of the sick fridge
Sick
and
fridge
kitchen
and kitchen
dinette play
diner.
school deals. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't really have any like the big play set stuff, but we had friends that did. So yeah, I ate plenty of fake McDonald's meals and all that kind of stuff.
That was
Let's effing
probably as
go.
good or better for you than the actual McDonald's meal.
Right? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Let's effing go. I'm assuming you're referring to the crappy White Sox team. I'm not
LFG
watching the game,
before.
but
The Rockers
let's
LFG.
freaking go. Huh?
The Rockers LFG. That's what the LFG stands for.
Oh, that's freaking. Oh, you guys have to put whole words in here. I'm way too old for this stuff. It's funny that that's what it means, because that was one thing we were talking about at the National, that we were so tired of hearing people yell all weekend.
Yeah.
Let's go! Everybody, the breaker rooms, it was just that phrase is way overkill at this
Was
point.
it a lot of the younger kids though that were there?
Yeah, I mean, people with energy, so yeah, younger people. I didn't hear any of the 80-year-old guys in the vintage section, yelling.
No, probably not.
But yeah, it was a lot of the mid-20 something breaker, clans, and then yeah, some of the little kids who were doing like Pokemon and V-Friend stuff, and but yeah, it was just yelled everywhere. It was so annoying. If I didn't have a 19-year-old son to ask, I probably wouldn't know most of the abbreviations. Yeah, I got an 8-year-old and she tells me abbreviations, but she tells me like the old school ones, like, oh, do you know what ROFL means? I'm like, yeah, roll on the floor laughing. She's like, you know what that means? I'm like, yeah, we invented that. Like,
right?
You're new to the show, not me, but LFG, nah, I don't know. My father texted me WTF today during a conversation. I was like, my dad knows what the fuck. Yeah. WTF, excuse me. I guess probably shouldn't say the full word, but yeah, I think that it's such a part of regular conversation now that, I mean, I text way more than I ever talk. So you're going to see more typouts of stuff like that. Yeah, I know what DGAF is. Yeah. Yep, I know that one. So is this what we're going to do for like an hour, is test my abbreviation, my shorthand texting knowledge? I mean, it could be fun, I guess. Maybe not to everybody, but some of us would enjoy that, I suppose.
There'll be a quiz at the end.
Yeah. I believe Stuart only has one abbreviation, doesn't he?
What was that?
I think Stuart only uses one abbreviation, doesn't he?
Yeah. And it reads like this.
There it is. You can't mistake it. I mean, it's Stuart. Most are obscenity based, which kind of makes sense, because then you're not typing it out and you can use it without getting in trouble. I always thought, that's a whole other conversation, and some of that's generational, but I always thought getting in trouble for swearing was the dumbest thing ever. It's a word. Now, if I'm using it like, F you, Charlie, well, that's a little different. But if it's like, man, that was so much fucking fun this weekend, like, what's wrong with that?
STFU.
It's 90% of the time it's used as an adjective.
Yeah.
Or, a word of emphasis. It's not a hate thing.
Like the way I used word. I use word for so many different situations. It could be a question.
Exactly.
Word.
Yeah.
It could be excitement. Word.
Yeah. Word up. Yeah, I hate the phone texting is helping keep your relationships alive. Yeah, absolutely. I've tried several times and it does not work, but I've tried to delete the phone icon on my phone, and it won't let you do it for some reason. So, because I don't need to make phone calls on it. It's not a smartphone, it's a smart device. Brother, I'm guessing. Yeah, words are powerless unless given it. Yeah, exactly. So I don't so I think we have much bigger things to worry about than somebody saying a swear word. And that stuff's been that's loosened up so much over time. I mean, I don't think I maybe my dad a few times, but I don't think I've ever heard my mom swear in my entire life.
I'll tell you
So
what. Get on the
generational.
get on a football field with a bunch of 14, 15-year-olds, and you'd be shocked how many F-bombs are flying already.
Yeah, well, I mean, I played sports all my life,
Yeah.
and yeah, I heard plenty. I heard it in lots of different languages,
Yeah, that's true.
playing in Europe and so it's yeah, it's no, the player gets up, he's pointing at me and he's like, "You F blah, blah." That's different. No, that's a different way you're using the but if, come on, get the F up here, cheering on the team, yelling at teammates and things. So what? What's the big deal? It's a great way to express yourself. There's also been studies done that people who use swearing regularly are much more intelligent than those that don't. So I don't know.
What? I'd like to see this study.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
All right.
Yeah. So look it up. You got your computer. I don't have my computer out right now. Yeah, if you look it up, as studies on intelligence and swearing, you'll see correlations. Texts are also an easy way to bypass recording a conversation. I've gotten in trouble for being naive and forgetting that a text is what all the kids call a receipt and can be used against you. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, so I came from the world of title insurance and I didn't do much on phones. It was okay, well, email me this and email me that because you have two realtors, one saying one thing, one saying another thing, and then you've got a lender somewhere in there. And it was like, nope, I need you to send it to me, attach everybody else saying we're changing the buy price to this or whatever it was because I'm not going to be the one holding that bag later on
Right.
when you guys all didn't communicate because shocking, they don't communicate that well. So um, many of them, I should say. So we don't even have any real topics this week.
No, we
Uh,
didn't. We
I
didn't.
slacked big time because, like I said, I was out of town for a concert on Monday night. So I was out of town again yesterday, got home late last night, did a few things, and just played catch up all day today, filling orders and doing stuff like that. So I got way behind the eight ball, trying to put something together tonight for topics. Um, so for everybody in the chat there, maybe this would be our best week to just open it up to the chat and say, what do you guys want to talk about? Is there any specific things you want to ask us or topics you'd like discussed or clarified? That'd be this be your chance for sure. Um, yeah, the big thing for me was that weird little scammy thing that I ran into this week. And what's the other one? Oh, my glass plexiglass guy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe I'll actually mention what that was. So I bought one of those UD glass cards at the National. I paid like 75 cents for it, so I don't really have much into it, but I bought it mainly because Charlie and I had been talking about those a while ago. He had found some at an even better deal than I got, and the player was like a total no namer and stuff. It's no big deal. So when I listed it as a eBay standard envelope shipping because it's just plexiglass. You can ship that in an envelope and it should be okay. But I had a buyer buy it and he had requested I ship it in a box and blah blah blah. And I said, well, it's eBay standard delivery. You didn't choose a different shipping option, blah blah blah. And I got this whole like scathing eBay message from this guy about, sellers need to honor their deals, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm assuming you're meaning you want me to spend more to ship this and lose the money on it. Which is actually what I ended up doing because I just wanted them to go away. But yeah, so that was really, and he's like, well, it's going to break for sure. And I'm like, it's not actual glass. Like, you need to know he's like, well, it's not. Charlie, you read it too. For one of his first sentences were, I'm not responsible for you not knowing your products that you're sending and blah, blah, blah. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're the one who has the understanding of the product incorrect. But I'm gonna make the customer happy. I'll send it to him in the box. I won't make any money on the card, which whatever. Um, and I just won't have transactions with that person in the future. I thought about just canceling the order. But I feel like this person's loud enough. They would be on blowout forums talking about how I don't want to honor a transact, whatever. So I don't really want to be that seller either. Your defect rate does affect your eBay prowess,
Yeah.
if you want to put it that way. But my main concern, and still my main concern, is just the feedback response. He could get it, it'll be in good order, it'll be in the box like he wanted, and he'll leave me a feedback of negative saying, this guy tried to ship it to me free and I had to tell him not to, whatever. That's the 0.01% of the customers that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
So ever thought about making your own Shopify store for trading cards? No. Tell you a couple reasons why. Getting traffic to a website is incredibly difficult. Let me give you a little background here. I do have a Shopify store, but it is not for cards. I have some other products that I sell, and Shopify is great. I started it as a Ticktail store, which most people have never heard of. It was out of Sweden, hosting like a shopping cart hosting company out of Sweden. They got bought out by Shopify, so I had to move to Shopify. Ticktail was great because their monthly fee was like $10, and you had an unlimited shopping cart and stuff. It was great. Shopify is more than that, but so there's this theory of, well, why pay eBay to market, and well, I'll just go start my own one, but you can't get in front of the eyes of those buyers. The buyer market is on eBay. There's ComC, there's some other bigger dealers, your Burbank Sports Cards. There's those places that have their own websites, and they're big enough that they can baseball card exchange, I think it is. Anyway, where you can really got baseball cards. That's what I was thinking of. So, when you get to that size, you can probably do that. I don't know that I have that strong of a customer base that I want to get into that. Now, the other downside is you still have to set up that website. You have to build all your products on it. You still have to manage your shipping. I don't know if there's any kind of good shipping option on there for what I sell because they don't offer like standard envelope. So, if you're going to ship cards free, you're not going to have tracking like you do on eBay. So there's a lot of downside to it, and it does cost a monthly fee. They do charge you whenever somebody pays with a credit card, which is 99% of the time how somebody's going to pay. So you still have your expenses, when you sell stuff. Basically, you're just saving on the eBay backend fee and any promotional fees that you would pay to eBay. That's it. So I don't know that it's advantageous enough. My Shopify store costs me, I think, $29 a month just to have. And then any of those expenses, like I said, for the transaction come out of that or add to that. Your thoughts, Charlie, on doing your own website?
I have not even considered that. I've got my hands pretty full just trying to get my eBay store where I want it to be. I have looked at is there a way to expand my eBay store into some other apps as well? Such as linking my Facebook business account and things like that. But my core function is I'm really just focused on eBay right now.
Yeah, the marketplace that eBay offers is just not touched, not even close by anybody else for sports cards. I'm not talking. I know there's Poshmark, there's Mercari. Maybe on other things those are more competitive areas, but for sports cards is just, unless, like I said, you have this giant brand, a Burbank that's been around for 60 years and has 3 million cards and pays people to just sit there and list crap on websites all day. Yeah, I just don't really think that it would work for me. With listings having your bread and butter, do you still try to list during the hot time of the sport? I list all year long, whatever I got. I don't care what sports season it is. When you have enough stuff listed, it really doesn't matter. I have a good amount of basketball stuff listed. I'm all ready for when that market comes back in and has some heat in it. Um, I'll list football all during the season. Um, I'll, basically the only thing the season affects me on is buying. Because I'll sell a card anytime I can sell it. I don't care when it is. So if I get Tom Brady stuff, I'll list it in March, way out of the season. I don't care. But Tom Brady's a bad example because he's retired, but let's say Mahomes, right? I bought a bunch of Mahomes in this off season. Now, will I buy Mahomes, the weekend of the AFC Championship game when they're going to the Super Bowl? No. So it affects my buying, but not my selling, if that makes sense. Just list. You have to list. You shouldn't say, well, it's not quite football season yet, so I'm not going to list these for sale. Why?
Yeah.
If you're going to list this for $10 later on, and you can list it for $10 now, list the damn thing for $10. What if you sell it now? then you're done with it,
Yeah.
So that's my take on the selling side. What do you think, Charlie?
I don't let the season dissuade me from listing anything, or in season or out of season. I don't let that affect me not listing anything. It does affect what I sometimes choose to grab off the
Priority.
Yeah. So, it's the middle of the baseball season right now. If there's a big hype cycle on something, I'm probably going to grab those cards and get them out there if I know I have them there. Football's building, right, for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure I get some football out there. So the next handful might be football. So it helps me kind of make a decision. What's the next handful I'm going to get? Unless I'm ripping a box for fun. And I was like, oh, this is a guy who always sells. I'm going to list that right away.
Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head there. That's just what I was going to say. Mostly the stuff I'm selling are players that are retired, that have their careers pretty set. That sells anytime,
Yeah.
Why would I save Tom Brady for during the football season at this point? Like, it's not really going to matter. Also, do you know when Pac-Man season is? When should I list those? Is there a Pac-Man season? Yeah, it's called 1982.
Yeah.
MD wants to know what else do I sell. So I did some marketing material stuff for a club a while ago. I don't do any of that anymore, but I still have some of the items. So I sell those in a Shopify store. So it's like Star Wars stuff that I created and that kind of thing. I'll show you an example here. I have some little drawers here. These are some coins that I designed. It's got the TIE Fighter on it and logo on the back and so forth. So stuff like that. Mainly to just club members. Pac-Man Fever. Never gonna die.
Wasn't that a song too? Pac-Man Fever?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I was talking more on priority of listing to generate sales. Yeah, which Charlie kind of touched on. Yeah, you probably want to grab the stuff that um, current players going into a season. That's probably the first thing you want to list before you list your Tom Brady's. Yeah, when the Pac-Man movie comes out, dude, that would be awesome. Actually, that was kind of like Pixels, right? Wasn't Pac-Man like a big star of Pixels? There was a giant Pac-Man running around town eating pellets, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. So
Yep. It was in
Pac-Man was
Pixels.
kind of in a movie, I guess. But you're right. You know, I laugh about that, but you're kind of right. I mean, that's why I've been doing a lot of turtle stuff, right? Turtle movie just came out. It's super hot
Yeah.
right now. There's tons of turtle merchandise out. I think Nickelodeon just started a new Turtles show recently, so that a show is back. There's lots of action figures in the aisles, that they've been redoing. They have been very popular. So yeah, so even with the non-sport, you can kind of capitalize on movies coming out, shows coming out, conventions, things like that.
Yep.
um so I just list. I get super bored when I list. So for me, it's like
Mix it
I
up.
love these team sticker cards. I can only list those for like an hour, and then I'm like, I don't want to see another stupid team logo. I don't want to
Yeah.
have to type Cleveland Indians in for the 30th time because it's not in the
Right.
goddamn drop down anymore. Because they changed the name of it. Great. What happened to when it was the other name for 40 years? You
Yeah.
just ignore that from existence. I don't know. I mean, what do you want me to do with this sticker from 1982? Do you want me to type Cleveland Guardians team logo sticker? Like, I don't like. Here's a good example, right? So you know what this is, right?
Yeah. The Ace.
The Angels.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's different about it now from then?
Well, it was the California Angels, it was the
Correct.
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and now it's the
Yep.
Los Angeles Angels again.
Nope. It's Anaheim right now.
Oh,
The
that's right.
Anaheim
It's
Angels.
Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but when this sticker was made, it was the California Angels. So I'm going
Yep.
to list it as a California Angels sticker. Like, I don't know. That one bothers me a lot. That one in the Commanders. Anytime I try to list Washington Redskins stuff, like, it's so annoying. I got to type it in myself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the one nice thing. You can type it. You um, don't have to make a selection from the drop down. And certainly anything new I'm listing, I'm going to list as Washington Commanders. So
Some of them they do have the old options though, like the Rams. They have St. Louis Rams and they have Los Angeles Rams.
right, but
Mm.
they didn't change those teams' names due to
Right.
negative connotations to the name. I'm not even against changing the names of the teams. I totally get that. I always thought Redskins is like the worst thing ever. You're literally calling a team by its skin color. Like,
Yeah.
we've been told since birth, like, don't judge anybody by their skin color. So I totally get that. But the team was called the Redskins. Like, it is what it is. No one likes a Nazi, but they're still the Nazis. I don't know. Can you imagine if a team name was called the Nazis? Oh boy.
It would
That's
be
an
a
insane.
European soccer team if there
That's
was.
yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Because the Europeans love Nazis. They're um, anyway, we're just gonna leave that one alone because there's no
Let that
there's no
breathe.
positive spin on that at all. It was a song. I had the 45 something. Oh,
Oh,
Pac-Man
Pac-Man
Fever
Fever.
was a song. There you go.
Yeah.
So that answered your question.
Buckner and
Just saw
somebody
an
else, I think.
article today that a native tribe is suing Washington to get the name back. Huh. All right. Well, there you go. I thought Indians was a little silly of a name change, but I do get the Redskin one of the
Yeah.
Redskin. I made that comment years ago. Like, how the hell do they get away with calling this team the Redskins?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
like the Indians one though, I don't see. I mean, maybe I'm just missing this point, but I don't see the big difference between Indians versus Chiefs. Why is it okay to have the Chiefs but not the Indians?
or the Braves.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. that's politics for a part of that too, and I don't know. I don't want to get into any of that. But I do know that the Cleveland Indians was a team for 30 years, and when I list a baseball card for a player who played on the Cleveland Indians, I should be able to choose that team as the team they.
Right.
I can still go choose the Milwaukee Braves when I
Yeah.
list a 50s baseball card. I don't know. That's one of those little pet peeve things. Plenty of devil teams. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess anything like there's lots of teams that are named after like ghosts and stuff. Well, isn't that
Yeah.
offensive to ghosts? I don't
I
know.
don't even know what to say to that.
Well, I mean, let's say we were the Dollar Box Goats, right? That's our team name and our mascot. Like, doesn't the goat have a right to request that we take the goat's name out of it? I don't know.
He sure does. The goat says, "You keep my name out of your mouth."
Yeah, just Will Smith that thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm part native. My family's reservation calls itself an Indian reservation. Who knows? Yeah, I think that was part of it and he brings up the point, or she, I should say, brings up the point I was thinking of. So Indian is actually two different things. So people here who are native to land are Native Americans. They're not Indians. Indians are people who live in India. So by calling them Indians, but then having and I also think part of the problem was the logo, having like the headdress person.
Yeah.
Is not how any Native American person wants to be represented anymore, or ever wanted to be represented.
Right.
Maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. And like I said, I don't have any problem with them making any of the changes. I think it's probably overdue on a lot of those, especially the Redskins. But that was the team name. It was like, what am I supposed to do when I list a card for Mark Rippon, who was a quarterback of not the Washington Commanders? Like, what are you supposed to do with that? You want to put the team on it,
Yeah.
And somebody who, more importantly, okay, I'm taking it from the seller's perspective. Let's say you're a buyer, right? And you're a Mark Rippon collector. Are you going to type in Mark Rippon Washington Commanders cards?
No.
Like, probably
or Joe
not.
Theismann.
See, now you just made it more difficult for the buyer. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Going to have to change the Philadelphia Eagles soon because they are going extinct. Nice. The Philadelphia Eagles themselves or actual Eagles?
Eagles are actually where I go up to my up north land, I see eagles a couple times a year on the side of the road now, and then down in the Mississippi River Valley, they are everywhere. I can't believe how well that population is rebounded.
And that's actually the first thing I thought of too when I read this. I was like, yeah, they're not extinct at all. They're dominating. You have to think about, so when you protect an animal like that, it's going to thrive because it's the top of the food chain.
Right.
Like, what kills an eagle other than a human, of course?
Yeah.
But eagles, they'll find plenty to eat. They'll find plenty of ways to breed. They have longer lives. Like, as far as birds go, they live a pretty good amount of time. They can deal with a lot of different climates and environments. Like, the eagles will have no trouble surviving a long time as long as humans don't take them out. Logo could have been changed if Chief Wahoo was too much. I thought it would have been funny if it changed it to an Indian person from India. Logo to be smartasses, but keep the name. And Tom kind of hits what I was just talking about. I think the reason they changed it too was because of the Indian is not representative of the actual Indian, which is a person from India. I don't know how Native people here got called Indians. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Because when Columbus got here, he thought he was in West India.
Right. So, but he wasn't.
Right.
And
so
they
it was
knew
a
that.
mistake that got propagated for centuries.
Yeah, but they knew that pretty early on. So why didn't they just not? I guess because it was already started. I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a way to take a shot at him. Kind of put him down and insult him. I don't know.
That could be.
Anyway, I border the Seneca Reservation in Western New York on multiple sides. I don't know where that is, but it sounds cool. I actually live on a reservation. Um, the area I live in, there, well, I shouldn't say that. It was reservation land. I have a homeowners association that has a long-term agreement with the reservation, and it's great. I can sit out in my front yard at times and hear the powwows going, so it's pretty cool. Power lines. Oh shit. So called them Indians and stuck, but Leif Erikson found America prior to Columbus anyways. Yeah, also Columbus is like one of the most terrible people in history,
Yeah.
and he was celebrated for a long time. So like we don't get a lot of stuff right. Things need to change over time. I completely agree with that. But a team name that was a team name, that's just it. You can't go back and change that now or just remove it, you know? All right. I think there's enough of that.
I thought this was a card show.
Yeah, I thought so too. Well, it's an eBay card show, and
Yeah.
that's one of my struggles when I list stuff on, because I do a lot of vintage, and it's like I can list, Brooklyn Dodgers stuff just fine, but I can't list a Cleveland Indians card from last year. Like it
Right.
doesn't make sense,
Right.
you know. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Change it over time, great, but don't deny what the
Right.
history is the history. So,
Right. Well, Tom's enjoying it.
yeah, Tom thinks we're pretty funny guys trying to struggle through this one tonight and not offend or upend anybody in their conversation. On a positive note, my daughter made me this cool bracelet today. The little purple
Look
beads
at
and
that.
little gold hearts. So I've been wearing it all day today. She's my buddy. So are your kids back in school yet?
No, it's a couple weeks yet. My youngest starts at a new school this year because he's entering middle school. So they're having all their orientations this week.
Yeah, ours are in 2 weeks. We're gonna meet with her teacher. I just have one child, so it makes it a little easier that way. But we always meet with the teacher before the school year, like a week ahead. We just request a meeting and um, just kind of go over expectations and things like that. I think it's good. Started off right,
Right. Right.
Um, and I think we're doing that next week. So yeah, there's one more week yet. But Luna actually told me today she's bored and she can't wait to go back to school. So I was like, okay, that'll change, in a few
Yeah.
years, I'm sure. Oh boy, time to. I have a feeling this one's gonna get tough. Time to debate the morality of male circumcision and why dollar box could be slang for prostitute. Oh man,
You open this door.
discuss. I asked for topics on cards, not topics on genitalia. No. Next. Are they doing the new mid-season tournament thing, NBA mid-season tournament thing now, and see the new rated prospect Panini logo? I did see the rated prospect Panini logo.
I did
I
not.
think those, well, maybe they're on some more products now, but I think they were only on the Panini VIP Gold packs. Cards had some of the prospect uh, rated prospect logo. I think that's going to expand for them as they have to get more into the NIL stuff since they won't have the professional licenses going forward. I think that's going to be their plan. Instead of going rated rookie, they're going to do like rated prospect, and they'll try to get the players before they're into some sort of professional league. Have you seen them at all, Charlie?
I have not. I'll have to check that
Okay.
out.
Yeah, basically it looks like well, you know what the rated rookie is, right? I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
been a famous thing for forever with Donruss. So basically it looks like that, but it just says rated prospect instead.
Okay.
Because I believe in most leagues to be a rookie, you have to be, well, by bare minimum, you'd have to be drafted by a professional team or signed
Right.
to a professional team. By starting to roll that out now, they can start putting cards out of even earlier of players. I think the first one I saw it on was a Arch Manning card.
Okay.
So, and he's playing for Tennessee, I think, this year is.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it's his first year. So, and he was kind of an easy target because it's Archie Manning, is the grandfather. Then you've got Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, and then it's Peyton Manning's son. And I think I'm pretty sure he's going to Tennessee. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. But Texas, thank you.
Okay.
After I said it, I'm like, wait, it's
Similar
the T.
colors.
It's not the Tennessee T. I'm picturing the T in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't think it's that T. Yes, trying to take the Bowman first route.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes and no. I prospects for baseball, that's a whole different thing from every other sport. I think they're just trying to take the NIL angle. They're trying to get into players before they sign professional contracts because it's cheaper and it's a way for them to stay in the game once they lose the professional licensing. Homework for Charlie. Yeah,
Yep.
Charlie.
Check out
Let's
that
go.
logo.
You made us be late on the show.
Oh yeah, I sure did.
Next. Texas.
Yeah.
The Cooper's kid.
Yeah, I
Third
thought it was
brother.
Cooper's kid. Yeah.
Yeah, Cooper's kid. Yeah.
Some have said he was the most athletic brother too.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was that's right. It's the third brothers. Yeah. And he's the most athletic, yet he didn't play any professional sports, right? Isn't he a lawyer
I
or something?
think he had some type of medical condition that came up.
Oh,
Yeah, but when they were young, he was like the top athlete of the three.
interesting.
Yeah.
So they could have had 3
Yeah.
Super Bowl winning
sounds
Hall of
like,
Famer quarterbacks. So it's insanity.
Right.
When anybody ever like questions, oh, DNA no, it's got to be real because there's just so many like athlete bloodlines where
There's that and the fact that they are around a high level athlete their entire life.
Right. They have access to training and
Yeah.
other experiences and yeah. Look at Patrick Mahomes. His dad was a pitcher for a lot of. I mean, they're not even in the same damn sport.
Yeah.
And the kid just dominates. I mean, he owns that football league right now. So, yeah, it's crazy. Not tough. LOL. Peyton and Eli, I don't think I would consider as
He's
athletic.
right.
No.
Yeah.
He was a wide receiver. Okay, so he wasn't a quarterback. Cooper. Yeah, Peyton was really good at the intellectual game. He was an excellent chess player. Used his barks wisely. Like he had enough athletic ability to be able to use his mental skills to get around his shortcomings with his physical abilities. I think that was his biggest attribute. Eli was interesting because I think he had a shit ton of luck in his career. I mean, he was a good quarterback, played for a lot of years. He was on some good teams. But yeah, I think in some ways he was just things just went into line for him in a lot of instances. Yeah, we just talked about that. Look at Mahomes, right? So also shows genres aren't everything. Yeah,
He's
exactly.
talking about Mahomes' brother.
That one to me is the most interesting thing because, like, okay, you got Vlad Guerrero and Vlad Guerrero Jr., right? Okay, well that kind of makes sense. Like he grew up with under a major league hitter, had access to that training. I'm sure he spent plenty of time in the box, hitting balls and doing all that stuff with his dad and getting that early invaluable training. But where the hell did Patrick Mahomes learn to play football? It's crazy when it crosses like that. That's the one where I'm like, no, there's genes in there somewhere that matter.
I would agree.
Raw talent, Peyton is second best QB to play in the last 30 years. Correct. The best quarterback was Brett Favre. Next. Oh, that's all we have for questions. I'll have to wait until somebody disagrees
Are
with
we gonna
my
have a
correct point.
QB conversation like the Jordan, Kobe, LeBron conversation?
Of course. Isn't that part of the fun? And first is not Brady. Exactly. It's Favre. Duh. We already talked about that. Let's see. QB closest position in NFL to MLB. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe for the way Patrick Mahomes plays a little bit, he is a little bit more of a pitcher in that sense, but yeah, Russell Wilson was drafted in baseball. What other Hall of Fame quarterback was drafted high in baseball? Do you know the answer, Charlie? Here's a hint.
John
He played
Elway.
for Stan. Here's a hint. He
John
played for
Elway.
Stanford. Yeah, John Elway.
Yeah.
Yep. He was I think a first round draft choice out of Stanford.
I think so, yeah.
So Brady too. Wasn't Brady baseball?
He was drafted for baseball, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he was that high though.
We skipped that question or that comment. Elway. Yeah, exactly. Couple of correct answers. Blue Jays? Expos? What are we talking about?
Brady was Expos, wasn't he?
Oh, right. Expos.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, the two sport athlete thing kind of blows my mind too. You know, like Dion and Bo and stuff like that. It's crazy to think that. Why is it always baseball and football? Why do they tie together so much?
Well, especially at the quarterback position, there's the throwing motions, right?
Right.
But
But
other
if you're
than that,
hitting
I
the
don't
ball,
know.
what difference does it make how you throw? I mean, I guess you're throwing from your fielding positions, but
Yeah.
I don't think Dion was drafted in baseball because he could throw the ball. You know, he was more there for running bases and
Yeah.
and yeah, actually it's funny because Tom brings up the player I mention a lot and people forget about, Charlie Ward. He was basketball and football. He was quarterback from oh gosh, I'm gonna get this team wrong now. It was either USC or Florida State? Maybe
Charlie
Florida
Ward
State.
was Florida State.
I
I'm
think it was
pretty
Florida
sure.
State.
Yeah.
What's kind of weird, and we don't talk about this much, but I don't really watch sports. It's kind of
You've
weird.
mentioned that
I
to
don't
me
really
before.
watch football games. I don't really watch. I don't know. I like sports cards. I like the market. I like the versatility of it. I like the potential. I like the gambling. I like the low end and high end. You know, I like the art. I like the social side. I believe the people I meet in cards I like way more than pretty much everybody else on the planet. So that's why I do it. I don't really care that much about the sport. And that's probably why I gravitate more towards Nolan Ryan's and Tom Brady's and
Sure.
Brett Favre's, and like I could give a crap what they're doing on Sunday. I like the statistics and the overall numbers and the records they hold and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm now on to the third bottle of water, so Deanna was actually a decent fielder. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't remember.
He was. He was.
He had to at least be decent, or he wouldn't have been in the majors. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida State. Woohoo! I got it right. See, OJ Mayo too, right? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't remember much.
I watch highlights and recaps outside of my Bills and Sabres games. Yeah, I think that's what the vast majority do now. I can remember like, oh gosh, it was probably 15 years ago or so now. Remember when everybody had NFL tickets so they could put like 9 games on at one time?
Yeah.
Put them in all the. I don't know anybody that does that anymore and just watches all the games. It's a little over the top.
I always think like the red zone thing and the MLB package, like I've gotten those a number of times, and by the first month I hardly use it anymore.
Yeah. Probably the only thing that I truly will sit down and watch a game of is soccer once in a while.
Yeah.
Which I know I'm in the complete minority in that. But I didn't watch football for many years because I hate Aaron Rodgers, and pretty much the only thing we really get here is Packers,
Hate's a
and I don't
strong
want to buy.
word.
Huh?
Hate's a strong word.
Yeah, it is. And I never liked the guy. I never thought he was out for team, and I don't know. It kind of goes to MD's comment here. Favre wasn't half the QB Rod was. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Went to more Super Bowls. Um,
I think they're different types of quarterbacks
he
for sure.
holds a NFL record that will never be broken. A Rod can't say that. So depends on how you measure, I guess, that way. Um, so here's my take on sports and why I don't watch it when you have a methodical player like Aaron Rodgers playing the game. I watch because I want to be entertained. When I go to a movie, I want to be entertained. When I watch a TV show, I want to be entertained. When I watch a stand-up comic, I want to be entertained. I want the same damn thing when I'm watching a sports performance. And the guy who throws the ball out of bounds every 3 plays, I'm not. I don't really. Doesn't really do it for me. So players who play for just personal stats, I don't really care for them in most cases. So that's where I always saw Rodgers as a player. Even the Super Bowl he won, there was a lot of luck on that one. They went in as a wild card team.
Yeah, I think I would say Favre was definitely more exciting as a player. Which if that's what you're watching sports for, I could see that. I think Rodgers was a better quarterback in terms of just skills, just skills, like the complete package. But Favre, I'd watch Favre over A-Rod any day.
Yeah. And all those things being said, A-Rod's got one Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they don't. If you're going to measure it by results, things like that. Okay, I think he has 5 MVPs or 4 MVPs, four
at
maybe.
least four. Yeah,
So he's got one more MVP than Favre. Like there's some edges there. He was there long enough to surpass passing records and touchdown
yeah,
records that
yeah,
Favre had. But the game's also a total throwing game now. Brett actually got hit. you
yeah.
know, you actually had to run the ball. You actually had to play in snow. There were all these things that it's really hard to take a more modern player and really compare it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said MD says, yeah, I don't factor in Super Bowls and rings. Yeah, I don't either when I look at a specific player. Mahomes is what Rodgers should have been with a competent front office. I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Dion had a career 982 fielding percentage when 970 is really good, and how many errors per 100. So he was at least a good and above average fielder. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't giving bad info. No, that's
No, Dion
I
was legit.
honestly wouldn't disagree with you. I can't even really remember watching him, do a lot of fielding or anything.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't even know if he was a very good batter. I
he
don't
was
know any.
decent. Yeah,
Yeah, I would think he was probably an average major league player, maybe plus a little.
he was plus. He's
You
definitely
know,
plus.
I just remember him stealing bases. That's the thing I remember about Dion, and he would do that slide. He would start sliding like 35 feet before the bag. Like his slide was insane. I don't even know if you could do that. And that game has changed too. Like even how you slide into bases and you can't take out catchers and like
Yeah,
you can't. It's so hard to compare statistics from one generation of the sport to another. Just like comparing LeBron and Jordan. I remember Jordan just getting hammered in games. They just take three guys, sit them by the basket, and anytime Jordan came by, they would just clobber him. you
yeah,
know, Like you don't see that now. Heck, they don't even go to the basket anymore. They just shoot threes. So
Or the old hack a shack defense.
yeah, the hack a shack. Yeah, because you can't shoot free throws. Yeah, it's different now. He led the league in triples and batted in the 290s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's very respectable. Yeah, this is the part I remember. Tons of steals and known for his speedy but crafty base running.
Yeah.
That and that slide, dude, it was crazy. It was like it. You ever see like one of those weird videos where like it shows somebody like sliding and then they extend like the frames on the video?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like they slide and then they just kind of like keep slide. Like he would do that, but like that was live view. It was crazy. Don't at me, but Bo Jackson, most overrated name in sports. I know it will get roasted here because you guys are 10 plus years older, I believe. Um, yes and no. Yes and no. The Bull one is really tough to measure because he had such a significant injury early
Yeah.
on in his
Shorter
career.
career.
Yeah, so it's really tough to say like how far he could have really gotten with it. Um, so here's my take on Bo. Not necessarily as far as like best baseball, best football, whatever. The guy, the he was just the most perfect physical specimen of a human ever at that point in history.
Yeah.
That's where he became significant. It wasn't because he was going to be the best football player or be the best baseball player or whatever. He was just like if you designed a body, right? Like if you could sit down and say, this is the perfect body I would want, Bo Jackson's body would be pretty much right there.
Yeah.
He's just insanely, strong and fit, and which is ironic because I don't know if you've seen him in the last few years, but he does not look like that at all.
I'll tell you what, he was also one of 2 all-world Tecmo Bowl players as well.
Yeah, and
He
Tecmo
and
Bowl,
QB
yeah, he
Eagles.
was. Yeah, he is not that kind of a physical specimen any longer, but yeah, it was he the other thing with Bo is he's a cultural icon.
Yeah.
Okay. So he doesn't his football and his baseball career is not as important, which sounds weird when you're talking about sports, but the Bo knows stuff and all the commercials, he did all the Nike stuff. Um Bo Knows Bo. That was like one of the only books I read when I was a kid. Um, just all the hype coming out of college, and his background story where they didn't have any money, and he would like take a tree trunk and go to the baseball park and hit home runs with the tree trunk. Like the stories just exploded about this dude who could do these fantastical things, and
Yeah.
he could leg press like 1,800 pounds, and like the guy was just insane. So I think he's more popular and more invested in due to that. But they pushed it far. They were like Bono's surfing, Bono's soccer, Bono, and they dress him up in like soccer kits and have him dribbling a ball, and like you would never see that with an athlete nowadays.
Yeah.
That they would even agree to something like that. But the companies held all the cards back then, so they could make you do all this crazy stuff. His Major League Baseball career was from 89 to 01. Didn't realize he went post like 98 in Major League Baseball. Yeah,
I
it
think we're
was,
back in Dion there.
uh, yes, I believe that's correct. Was that good? Didn't hold up. I think the rigorous lifting regimen that athletes have now just attributes to more and more injuries. Yep, possibly. I ain't no doctor. I don't claim to be one. I can tell you, when I was training to play in Europe and stuff, because we were some pretty grueling, long days of training and stuff like that. Um, we like your rest days were as important as your workout days. Like that's old school training. I'm talking like 25 years ago, 30 years ago training. I would imagine they've got much better stuff now, but we would train hard and we do weights and we do a lot of running and we do a lot of that stuff. And then it was like, you don't touch a weight for 3 days. If I see you touch a weight, you're off the team. Like it was just as serious to have your muscle calm downs and your cool downs as it was to work out. So, um, yeah, I don't know how they handle that now, but they're like, you can only work out to like a certain point where before it becomes disadvantageous to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why people don't get that, but you can't. It's not like, well, put another 10 pounds on, on the rack. That'll make me stronger. Like, that's not really true. That's not how it works. Your body's biology, and a lot of the parts in your body are these rubber bands, right? So you don't want to constantly stress them and snap them, and I don't know.
That's
You know
why I
that
just
as a
stopped
football
all
coach, right?
working out. I was like, I don't want to do any more damage. I'm just not going to work out anymore.
Yeah, yeah, it's worked. It's worked for the last 30 years for me. Why go against that? Deion Bowe, Lawrence Taylor, and Barry Sanders unfair in Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They were also unfair in real life. You just mentioned 4 names that I stock high numbers of quantity of in my store.
Sure.
So we had to eventually bring this back to cards, and that's where I'm bringing cards into this. That way I can write off this meeting today. So yeah, that's you basically just listed the 90s icons in sports right there.
Yeah.
Bo and Dion going 2 sports, almost simultaneously. And yeah, I mean, Barry, I've never seen anybody else like Barry Sanders ever in the sport of football. I don't think you ever will. The guy was just, again, the physical design of that person is just, it made him something that no one else could be. He made all those defensive players look like, Pee Wee League.
Did. Every week you tuned
They were
in
just
to see.
falling over, and like they tripped themselves, and like it was just insane what that guy could do.
Every week you tuned in to see a 20-yard gain where he ran 50 yards.
Right. Yeah, because and there was, like, you're not going to tell Barry, okay, you get the ball and then you go through this tackle here. Nope, Barry goes wherever Barry goes, and you give him the ball and try to get him some space, and he'll eventually find where he has to be, and then no one's ever going to touch him. He's just that insanely good. Unfortunately, he played for such a terrible team, so he never really got an opportunity to like do anything big stage type stuff. But
right.
Yeah, he was an insanely fun person to watch play. And again, when I watch sports, I'm looking to be entertained. You can't watch pull up a Barry Sanders highlight video on YouTube and tell me you are not entertained. I'm not a big Troy Aikman fan. That is not entertaining football.
No, not really.
That is, I have a really good team and I'm just going to run the plays and we're good. Tom Brady, not entertaining football. Winning football, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of like giant highlight reel, views on YouTube of Tom Brady performances. Brian Jordan, yes, Brian Jordan was 2 sport. Baseball, football, played for St. Louis Cardinals.
I don't remember that name at all.
I think, yeah, I do. I believe Brian Jordan played for the Atlanta Falcons. He kind of followed up Dion there. 2 sport guys, one of those fun side PCs to do outside your team, or Hall of Famers. Yeah, there's tons of collectors for Dion, tons of collectors for Bo, for sure. Speaking of Lions, they probably wasted the 2 most talented players at their given positions.
Calvin
I've
Johnson.
seen in my lifetime. Nobody was better than Calvin. I have recently started to stock a lot of Calvin Johnson stuff. It's something that I regularly look for. He was a monster.
He was.
And again, you're right, Lions player. Brian Jordan played baseball. Don't remember him anything else, though. Okay, could be. I definitely remember Brian Jordan. I'm pretty sure he played.
But did he play 2 sports well?
I don't think so. I mean, you would
That's
remember
probably
him.
why some of us don't
I
remember him.
mean, yeah, if he was Dion or something, you'd remember him. But
Yeah.
no, no, not significant really in any kind of. Yep, you were right, Falcons, but actually drafted by my Bills. Look at that. Look at the guy who knows sports shit who doesn't watch sports. Maybe Moss, but a different type of wide. Yeah, Moss is also another. He's another freak. I would watch
He's
him
a
play
game
all day long
changer.
too.
Yeah.
On his wiki now. I was late to the show, but at least I had some sports knowledge to kick around, so
Yeah.
I can feel a little bit
Oh,
better
you
about football.
were late to the show, huh?
Yeah, because you refused to start it on time. I was sitting around waiting for you.
Sure, yeah.
Only 3 years in the NFL, but a really long, good career in
Okay.
Major League Baseball. Yeah, he was definitely better at baseball than he was football. So I think most two-sport athletes eventually get to a point where they're like, yeah, I'm going to go this one, or I mean, Charlie Ward did that. He ended up choosing basketball.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a very long career either. Probably Dion was probably the one who played two sports the longest and was really good in both.
I feel like Charlie Ward had like 5 years in basketball.
Yeah, he did. He played for a few years, but only 1 or 2 years, I believe, in the NFL. So,
Yeah.
um, only 3 years in the NFL. Yeah,
Hmm.
pretty good. I remember Brian Jordan though, and he only played for 3 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
Didn't really do anything. But that was, to be fair, that was more during the time when I did actually watch more sports. I had more.
So that's interesting though, because he only had a little bit of overlap between the two sports.
Yes.
So he played NFL for the most part before he decided to try and play MLB.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Tim Tebow effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only
So I'm
Tebow
not good
did
enough at one. Let me go try a different one.
kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
why not? I mean, Jordan did that, right? I mean, if
Yeah.
you're really going outside the box, I mean, he quit in the prime in his basketball to try to do baseball. So here's something interesting. I had a conversation with somebody the other day about this. What if Jordan ended up being really good at baseball? What would things look like now?
Yeah. Yeah. He was no Jim Thorpe.
Right. Well, and he had only had the 3 championships at that point, right? Because he won
Yeah.
3, went to baseball, and then he won 3 more.
Yeah.
So would he even be the basketball GOAT? Probably not.
And it would be a different discussion when we talk Jordan, LeBron, or Kobe.
So, because I remember people being like, oh, he's no good in baseball and this and that, like disappointed about it. I'm like, no, he needs to go back to basketball. Like he's not going to be in baseball what he is in basketball. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how that could have changed the entire history of like the NBA, really.
Yeah.
I don't think it affected baseball a whole lot, but in the NBA, it would be huge without Jordan there. I would have done baseball myself because despite more games, less wear on body, and bigger contracts at the time, 1,000%, I would have chose the same thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of football players are choosing that now. They're leaving the league earlier. They're trying to get more money up front in earlier contracts so that they can get paid, with a shorter career, stuff like that. Yeah, not really a true two-sport, right? LeBron would still be the best, nothing different. Okay. We know where he stands on the LeBron Jordan
Yeah.
debate. I really don't have a pony in that race. I could care less who's the best and not the best. Basketball's not really my thing. Imagine Otani playing soccer or basketball, 2 positions, 2 portions
For
is
sure.
crazy, but 2 sports, well, let alone good, is actually a crazy feat. I think what he's doing in baseball is completely ridiculously amazing.
Yeah.
So, not a debate. Just don't bring the third guy in because he died early. And obviously he's talking about Kobe. I don't think I would put Kobe up there as like greatest of all time by any measure. I mean, he's got some stats to kind of put him there, depending on how you want to measure it. But again, I watch sports for entertainment. I would much rather watch Kobe play than LeBron.
And I'd rather watch Jordan than
I'm not
any of
saying
them.
he's a better basketball player. I just really enjoyed watching Kobe play. I liked the fire. I liked how he could take over in some games, and he was really good in playoff games and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Oh, in card news, the ex-NFL player Blake's Breaks, who does Pokemon rips and gambling games in hot water for mappable packs and scamming buyers on whatnot.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that.
I was waiting for this to come up. He was also a Packer player for a few years. So we know of him here. He was drafted in Green Bay. Yeah, I don't get that. Why you're making millions in professional football. You quit that to go do packs, and then you're scamming people for Pokemon packs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Super weird choice. But yeah, he got kicked. He's not just in hot water. He literally got kicked off of Whatnot.
Right.
They got banned. So there's obviously real evidence there that there were things happening. Now, I don't know if it was like Blake himself doing it with the packs, or it was like one of the guys that works for him. I don't know. I didn't look that far into it, but yeah, I'm definitely aware of. I think it's raining out. Definitely aware of
Squirrel
that situation. It's sad. You didn't watch enough LeBron then. I don't know. That could be. I don't watch much basketball, so
I feel like the argument about A-Rod is similar to LeBron for me. It's another guy who, for me, the attitude kind of ruined the legacy for me.
Well, I hate to say this, but most of those top athletes do something to hurt their legacy. You're gonna
Fair.
get that intense and that dominant. I mean, Jordan too. With his gambling stuff and different things. You get Kobe with the rape case thing. You got, Tom Brady's stayed pretty clean, but he just divorced a supermodel. I don't know if that's the greatest choice.
Well, it may not have just been his choice.
Whatever, Charlie. It was a bad choice. No matter what it was, you just say yes, dear, and you move on, right? So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. He was the puppeteer. I'm not sure who you're referring to. LeBron, maybe? I don't know. Him and his whole team watched the 10-part series on it. What was the 10-part series? You're talking about the Bulls?
The Decision, maybe? No, I don't know.
Oh, The Decision is that what everybody is hung up on. LeBron is 100x the man Jordan is. Dude went on ESPN and made millions for the Boys and Girls Club, but gets chastised for it. Yeah, I do think he gets a little bit of a bad rap. I think he's done a lot of good things too. It's easy to see things maybe you don't agree with. He got into the politics. That's usually a risky choice as an entertainer. The hanger packs came mappable in case, so they coordinated guess the energy card game that has 1 in 8 odds, but sell packs for 1K and have people miss 30 plus times in a row. They didn't think that would be found out. Whatever. Blake's Breaks, yes, we know. Oh, Martinez was the puppeteer. Okay, got it. So he wasn't necessarily the one who was performing that on camera, but he was the one who sort of, I assume he did something wrong, yes. 2 conversations at once right now. Only
we
2?
have a hard enough time with one.
Only 2? Yeah, especially this hour. This is a late hour for me. So, but speaking of that, we'll probably hang it up pretty soon here. We got 2.5 hours in on this, but we had a pretty consistent chat tonight, which we really super appreciate. It's a lot easier than Charlie and I and the goat just looking at each other. Oh man, is that how you milk him? Is that where he gets milked, or
just stroking his beard? What's wrong with the guy stroking his goat's beard?
Is that what you call it? Sure. You know, whatever it takes. Um, yeah. So I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, I
Yeah,
think we're
that'll
gonna.
happen.
Yeah, yeah. The goat distracted me. Um, yeah, I think we'll probably hang it up here. Do you have anything you want to add, Charlie, or anything you want to show off, or?
Um, not cards. I was gonna give you an update tonight, just kind of how diversifying my inventory was. Um, we talked about I started really just with baseball cards and tried to see what I could do to diversify that, because we've talked about in season, out of season, and filling those gaps. So I can share this real quick. So I'm getting there. I'm still not where I want to be. I want to do some more of this yet. Let me see if I can get the right screen here. There we go. Should click over to you in a second.
There it is.
Yeah. So you can see I still got a big chunk of baseball, but I've got football building in, as we talked about priorities and listing. That's been one of my priorities, to try and get some football out there before the season gets going. But built up some auto racing. I've got some MMA, some soccer, some golf, WWE. I've got a little bit of that. There's a few others in there that show 0%. It's just because it's less than 1%. But you can see how, I continue to try and spread that around. And then the other one was I was looking at, what were my sales in the last week? Because I was curious, like, what are the sports that are moving right now? Still 2/3 of my cards moving are baseball, which is outpacing the diversity of baseball cards in my collection, in my inventory, right? But
Yeah.
it does make sense. You can see football and baseball are the two biggest sellers for me, but they're also the most of my inventory.
Right. Exactly.
And the seasons that are, on people's minds right now. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of give an update on where that diversifying was in my inventory and how we're doing on that, and then compare that against what's actually selling. But you see, I also sold WWE this week. I sold some Pokemon, hockey. I sold a Yarmir Yager card and Shaq card, some basketball. So it does. I think it makes sense to diversify. And it
Where's
feels good.
where's the flying pig part of that pie?
I haven't
Is that on
sold
there?
anything that crazy. Although in the baseball bucket, there is a rally monkey card, but I counted
Nice.
that as baseball.
Mascots rule. I love mascots.
Yes. Yes.
I just sold a Philly Fanatic yesterday, a Sports Illustrated for Kids card.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those do pretty well. Hey,
Yeah.
do you have since I was looking at your charts there, do you have your numbers for top selling athletes per sport?
No, I don't.
Oh, let's do,
Oh, you
can we do
mean
that next week?
the data I've been collecting? Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah, can we
Yeah,
show that next week and kind of
I
show where
do.
that's at?
I actually
I
do
think that
have that handy.
yeah, because I think you do have it handy or you
Yeah, I've got it up right now.
okay, cool. Let's see if I can
Any particular sport you want me to look at?
I don't know. I think probably baseball and football,
Okay.
would maybe be the two best ones for right now.
Yeah, I have more data built up for baseball because that's the biggest
Right.
chunk of my inventory, but I'm trying to expand on the football and other sports as well.
I just think, for new sellers watching here, that might be good content too, because
Yeah.
I think when you get in, you're like, well, what sells? What do I buy? What do I sell?
Right.
That's
Right.
kind of your biggest struggle up front is, well, I got to put capital into this. You have to have inventory. You can't sell if you don't have inventory.
Yep.
Well, I want to make sure what I buy, I can sell. So
Yeah.
are you
Um.
okay? Here we are.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Should be able to pull it in.
I'm going to take this comment off so we can read a little better.
Okay.
Is it there somewhere?
Should be there. Yeah.
I don't see it.
There you go. Just popped
There we
in.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot read that on my
Yeah.
little
I think I can make it a little bigger for you. Let's see here. There you go.
All right, so Judge is still on top, huh?
Yeah, I could probably do for a refresh of that. But that is still going off his homer run, right? So
Yep.
I think that'll continue to go down a little bit, but he's in the biggest market in the world, right? So
Yeah.
he's going to
They're not a very
maintain
good
a
team, though, right?
yeah, not really, but I think regardless of what he does, even with some injury time, I think he'll stay in the top 5 for quite some time.
He has a pretty cool name too.
Yeah, he does.
Like that, I think stuff like that matters. It's underscored a bit. Obviously they ought to have some talent and some production, but I think names and nicknames like Neon Dion and Bo
Right,
Nose and like
right.
players that kind of have these little, even like Magic Man for Don Mikowski. I saw a bunch
Yeah,
of Don
Don
Mikowski
Mikowski,
crap
yeah.
around here. Just
One
had
of
a
the
great
things
name. Sometimes that weird thing plays into it.
one of the things that really stood out for me when I started collecting this data is, you talk about the retired players always, having a good solid sales base, and that shows in the data. They absolutely do.
Yeah.
You got Griffey in there. You got Nolan Ryan, Derek Jeter, Mickey Mantle. I mean, they're all in the top 10 there.
I think there's a couple reasons for that. One, if you're looking at this as an investment, they're kind of like your bond investments, right? They're
Right.
your kind of your sure thing. You're going to get some return out of it over time, and so forth. I also think that a big part of the collecting and buying base that's back in was us when we were doing it when we were kids. So you're going to collect Griffey and Bo Jackson and Nolan Ryan, and that would make some sense versus a
Yeah.
whatever fly by night pitcher, especially in baseball because it's so hard to have a Hall of Fame career. I think in that sport, there's so many players.
Yep.
Um, I saw a crazy thing the other day. I can't remember where I saw it, but they took a Major League Baseball stadium and they did a graphic and they filled how many seats in that stadium were of number one draft picks in baseball history that actually made it to,
Handout. Yeah.
yeah, like they had like a 5-year career minimum or I don't know, it was something like that. And it was like 200 seats were filled and that was it. It was
Right.
insane how terrible,
Yeah,
the odds are to try to do anything in
for
baseball.
sure. The other thing that really stands out to me in this is look at how outfielders kind of dominate the top
Yeah.
sellers. And they're mostly going to be some power hitters too, right?
I would think it's a lot of home run hitters. That would be my
Yeah. And what do you not see in that top 27 or so? Other than some dual position
pitchers.
players. Pitchers,
Pitchers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think we all know that have been in the hobby for a while, but it's still interesting when you look at some data and you're like, holy crap, like pitchers
Yeah,
just don't.
even Nolan Ryan. I mean, Nolan Ryan has no hitters, obviously, but
Yeah.
he never won a Cy Young. Like it's interesting that he's even on that list, and he really doesn't have too many accolades in the sport other than the no hitters.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
he's
know,
really kind of the exception.
yeah.
And then I run a similar thing on the football numbers. Let me blow that up a little bit. So there's your guy Tom Brady
Mm-hmm.
up at the top, and he's by far a large share. I mean, you're talking about 0.7%, but that's actually quite a bit when you look comparatively at the data. But T-Law's still up there strong. Of course, Joey B's there, and then there's Mahomes, who I think will continue to climb.
Oh yeah.
But there again, look at all these QBs.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's a secret to anyone that QBs dominate the football market.
Yeah, and
One one thing that I want to point out too, though, if you look at players who are done with their career, like Tom Brady, he played for what? Forever, basically, but
yeah, and I guess I
20,
gotta update that
20,
to retired now.
24 or 25 years, something like seasons. So you're gonna probably have more card action for a player like that anyway. He's got 100,000 some odd cards
Yeah,
versus Trevor Lawrence. Maybe obviously there's been more recent years, but Trevor Lawrence's card numbers, are tiny compared to what Brady's got available.
yeah, yeah,
So if you have a player collector, let's say you're a Trevor Lawrence collector versus a Tom Brady collector, well, the Brady collector has a lot more they got to chase.
yeah, yeah. What I like is this guy creeping up a little bit. Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was surprised to see Trey Lance still out there at a sizable amount of sales.
I would imagine he'll drop down. I think that's some preseason hype because a lot of people aren't that confident that Purdy will be able to hold the job or even
Yeah.
be able to start for that matter with the injury. So,
And
um,
I'm not sure if I have Brock Purdy in the data. Let me see. Nope, I haven't trended Brock yet, so I'll have to add him and see where he's at in the data.
yeah, because he should be starting. I mean, he hasn't looked that great in preseason. I don't put much stock in preseason anyway, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, it'll be interesting. Basically, your list is pretty much what I expected.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't see my man Favre too far up that list, and I sell a ton of Favre, so he's 19, I think, right?
He is. Yeah, he's 19. So really, that's like 17th on the list.
Yeah, which is pretty good for a guy who's been retired for 10 years almost.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah. I'm interested to see kind of how that your data keeps evolving. You're much better at that stuff than me, so I'm glad you're doing it, so I can just check it out and not have to do it.
Yeah, and it's like every couple months if I've got some time and I'm listing some cards, I try to update some of the numbers here. It's not something I do religiously and rigorously, but it's helped me as I kind of target who I'm looking for when I go to card
Yep.
shows and things like that.
Yeah, I think it's hugely valuable data. When you're sitting around and you're going, well, geez, I've got some time to shop and some money to burn. What do I look at on eBay? Well, let's see who's moving up this list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe that's the guy you don't want to buy, right? Because prices might be up.
Prices are already peaking, yeah.
So you might go, well, geez, Judge dropped 2 spots. I bet I can get his stuff for a better deal right now. That might be the guy you want to buy. You can strategize however you want using that kind of a list, but um, I think that's good. I think you're doing something that I haven't seen anybody else do, and that's usually a winning formula.
Yeah, I'd love to get some type of automation in this at some point, but for right
Right.
now, it's just kind of a side project that kind of helps me direct my focus area, and I do find some interesting stuff in there. Some things you expect, and other things you're like, wow, I did not like. Mac Jones is still pretty high, and I don't think anyone's super excited about his prospects with the Patriots.
I mean, he's still a starting NFL quarterback.
Yeah,
There's only 32 of them.
yeah.
Patriots market's pretty popular. Still has, an A+ coaching staff. So I think a lot of people feel like, well, if he can catch some fire, they might be able to do something.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if they had a good draft or a good trade off season. I haven't really followed any of that stuff, but
Yeah. And if you look at the other end of the list, some of these guys, like a Kerry Collins,
yeah.
that might put him right into the dollar box unless it's his rookie cards, and
hmm I've
um,
sold some Kerry Collins. I sold some Steve McNair cards.
yeah, yeah,
So you can, something I've said a million times, but you can sell any card and make money on it. It's all depending on what you bought it for,
yeah.
and what you need to get for that to get that profit.
This was one I was surprised at. For the legacy of Jim Thorpe, I would have thought there was more of a market for his cards.
For who?
Jim Thorpe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
he's an all-century player, right?
right, but if you go ask a 16-year-old kid who Jim Thorpe is, they won't have a clue.
Darn kids today have no appreciation for the sport.
I think there isn't I think there isn't access to it. You know, when I started
Yeah.
buying well, even Favre stuff for that matter, I was like, God, why are people buying Favre base cards from 1996? You know, who the hell's buying this stuff?
Right.
But dude, you go out to YouTube and there's some pretty badass Favre videos. You know, the one of NFL Films did a great one of, you know, him the Oakland game after his dad passed.
Yeah.
You know, and he threw 5 touchdowns and all that stuff. It's like those kids have access to all that film at at their fingertips. You know, if they're getting into football or baseball or whatever it is, you can go see all that. But
Right.
is there Jim Thorpe video? Probably not.
No, there's not.
You know, so I just think it's hard to make it accessible. You know, baseball is kind of that exception because it's been such a important part of American sports forever. I mean, you have a lot of Babe Ruth video, you have a lot of Mickey Mantle video, Lou Gehrig giving the speech, you know, when he was diagnosed, and like you have those kind of key sports moments, and a lot of the other sports didn't have any of that. You know, Jim Thorpe played for the Yankees. I guarantee you his stuff would sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Do you have to be a paid store to? We'll answer a couple questions and then we're gonna bounce because we'll be at 3 hours here pretty quick. You have to be a paid store to access reports. I can't access dashboard because I got rid of it and clicking around haven't found any reports or info to look into. Number of listing and sales. Yes, I believe you have to be at least the basic store in order
Correct.
to get report information. What information are they going to give you if you don't have any store sales? You know, they're I guess if you do a bunch of auctions or something, or you're just doing your few free listings a month, but it's probably not enough to warrant needing reports or anything if you're not gonna, you're not taking it seriously enough to have a store, I guess is the best way to put it. You'll end up opening a store. You'll have access to all that when you get that far.
That's what you kept telling me.
Yeah, what happened? And then what happened, Charlie?
I opened a store.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. And then he's late to the live show, you know. Jim Thorpe guys probably go after the more pricier stuff since so many snobs to oddball releases or even players outside their player years. I grab Thorpe, Jim Brown, Red Grange when I have a chance. Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about Sports Illustrated for Kids. The one little stack I grabbed out of that box, there's a really sweet Jim Brown card in there. Love that stuff. Jim Thorpe has a Sports Illustrated for Kids card. I actually just sold a Red Grange Sports Illustrated for Kids card. So if you want some of that stuff, there are some cards out there. They're not obviously of their like playing years and stuff, but until you get into the big money. Because I can see football greats eventually getting the shine baseball did. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I do a lot of vintage football because it is way underpriced, in my opinion. I can get a second year. Who's a good example? A second year Walter Payton for $15.
Yeah.
I can get a second year Joe Namath for $20. Like, look at how much a raw second year Mickey Mantle card is. Well, technically 52 is his second year card for him because 51 was his rookie year.
Yeah.
But there's other things that play into the 52 tops, the dumping in the harbor and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, I think football is going to have that historical glory at some point. I think Thorpe did, or maybe it was Newt Rockney. Thorpe did. Oh, played for the Yankees.
Oh,
Okay. Don't know. I don't ever remember Jim Thorpe being mentioned as a Yankee. I'm pretty sure that would have been covered. Newt Rockney. I don't remember him playing baseball.
yeah, I don't either.
He was a football coach, wasn't he?
Yeah, for Notre
Well, he
Dame.
played too. He played
Yeah.
too, but yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at that. I don't know that much of that part of history. But all right. Well, I think I'm good for tonight. Are you good for tonight, Charlie?
I am absolutely good for the night. 4 a.m. comes fast.
Awesome. How's Stuart feeling?
Stuart says, if I
He's already
understand my
sleeping. I can tell.
if I understand my goat speak right, that means it's time to lay down for the night.
What does he say? Uh, LFG. That's what he says.
Let's effing go.
Yeah, right. All right. That's enough for tonight. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in. If you're watching this after the live and you're watching the post, please like, share, subscribe, do all those fun things, and continue the conversation. Send messages. Let's keep it going. Lots of good stuff that we covered tonight. We'll see you all next week. I'll be much more prepared, I promise. I'll make sure Charlie's on time,
Yeah.
and we'll get it going. I like having the 3-topic outline. I think it just helps us a little bit. Try to keep some focus, so I'm gonna try to put something together for this week. Charlie and I'll talk. Maybe we'll do a little video from the card show this
From
weekend
Janesville, yeah.
if you're game.
Yeah.
My camera broke, so I'd have to film it with something else,
Oh
or I
boy.
might go pick up a camera. We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that would be fun. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll do something with that too. So thanks again, everybody, so much. Good night to you as well, MD Sports. Thanks for participating. Love it. Love your comments as usual. Much love. Stay safe and enjoy cardboard. Exactly. We have to keep in mind this is all for fun. It's a hobby, and the debates and all that stuff's good time. And let's just enjoy ourselves and enjoy our
Yep.
hobby. Thorpe was an Olympic gold medalist, pro football, baseball, and ballroom dancing. Yeah, I remember the ballroom dancing thing. I didn't. Yes, he did play pro football and baseball, but I don't think it
Yeah.
was the
Sure.
Yankees though. Okay. Anyway, that's it. See y'all next week. Peace out.
So